everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. How are y'all doing tonight? Hey there, crazy. We're going to be looking at some stuff from the book today. Hey there, girl. How you doing? Oh, there's quite a few things. How much stuff did I write down? I went back to both of the community posts and then wrote down everything from both of them. You have 10 different subjects written down, plus whatever you guys end up bringing up in here. Hey there, Becca. Hey there, Kara. It is going to be interesting. I'm going to actually keep on one screen my actual like YouTube page of the live going, because as far as I know, hold on. Maybe I just don't know how to use StreamYard. As far as I know, I can only put a poll up like on YouTube itself. Yeah, I can only put a poll up on YouTube itself. So as we're going through all of these, I'm going to put a poll up so that I can keep track. I'm going to have the poll up for like 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer on my phone and try to keep track of just like the percentage of how many people remember one way versus another. Because I know we always do like, okay, put a 1 in the chat, but I would really like to like get a percentage on it, get a statistic on it. You know what I mean? Oh, I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving too. Oh, I'm sure you've got them somewhere. I'm sure you've got lots of them. Lots of them. Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about this one in here. Yeah, I saw this earlier. Yeah, the footprint on the table, I think that's probably why they ended up bagging Xana's foot. I did see somebody else mentioning something. Hold on, let me see. No, yeah, no, I played that part. We're going to play the snippet that I had in the video from yesterday, and then I'm going to play the same ones that you just got because I got mine from Connors. He does say it, but he never says once that it came from the floor. He never mentions the floor, and he never mentions the floor in his interview either. He never mentions that part. But going back to this part too, I saw somebody else say something about how, okay, yeah, Dylan's doorway. Two completely different things. And no, because Dylan's doorway, apparently according to Ann Taylor, who introduced the word threshold to this scenario, which means like as the door is open, the ground in the door frame, like the actual piece that you would walk over to consider you going through the door, like your one step area is where this was. What was on the table in Xana's room was a footprint actually. What they had here in the threshold was a shoe print, diamond shaped, but never clarified brand or size. They just compared the diamond shaped like pattern to that of Vans, but never actually clarified it was a Van shoe. Just that it was similar to. Yeah, but they've never, that's another thing. Unless it's in the documents, the 2,300 pages, and we haven't gotten to it yet, like in a picture or something. I haven't seen a picture of that yet. If somebody has seen it, if it is in there, please let me know. But as far as I know, no. We have not seen that. Hey there, Kimmy. Nice. Nice. Yeah, isn't that so crazy? I'm actually going to play for you guys just a little clip from a video that actually like explains what a Mandela effect is and about how it started with that right there, Nelson Mandela dying in prison or not. Right? That's my thing too, because it has biologics on it. Because it has biologics on it. Oh, I did this video. It's editing right now. I did the video. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see. They've never specified. They just said it looked like it. I mean, unless she said it at a hearing, like actually said it. The only thing they've told us so far in any way of like documents or anything is just that it's like the diamond shape. And no sizes. The only size we've gotten is the inches from the one outside that we do have photos of. And then I think from like the shoes they got from Kohberger's parents' house. Hey there. Hey there, Carrie. Hey, 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 hey. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I know. My cats are crazy. Like I'm telling you, if you watch that cat video, Zelda does not go in Dawn's room. Does not go in Dawn's room. All of a sudden, Calypso really loves Dawn's bed. She likes to be on his body pillow. She wants to be there. She's there all day. She sleeps right next to him all night. Like that's her spot. I wake up this morning and I look over and I'm expecting to see Calypso. No, it's Zelda. And she just looks at me. And I'm just like, so out of retaliation, I guess, Calypso's on the fridge. And they just stay that way collectively. And I'm just like, okay, so we're just playing this. And I've noticed that they kind of like have done this in rotation thing. Like Calypso will get used to a spot that Zelda's never been in. And she's like that for a few days. And that's where I just expect to see her. And then all of a sudden Zelda's there. But Calypso's also doing it because Calypso tried to like push into Zelda's little like feeding spot that I had for her. And if originally I was like, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not moving it. I want Zelda to like always have this space. But they have no problem eating together. So now they just eat like actually together because Zelda was letting Calypso like eat out of her bowls. And I was like, okay, well, maybe you're not going to be territorial. It's just like a game. It's just a game they seem to be playing. They're funny. And the baby's just like chilling, watching them be crazy. He just don't even care. He's so funny. He's so chill. For being an orange cat, like he has his little crazy zoomy moments, but for being an orange cat, oh, you know what? That's something we never got information on, clarification on. But speaking of the LinkedIn account, we are going to also talk about the Goncalves' statement where they called the private driver a family member. I cannot wait to do the video about all the lies the Goncalves said. That one's going to be great. Holy shit. Probably long. So whenever that one's ready to go, y'all might want to get like hella extra ready. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We never got any information from the police. That's for sure. And I don't remember it saying anything, or at least we haven't seen it. Did we see it in a report anywhere? Let me know in the chat by the time I get down there and let me know. Did we ever see, because I don't remember right now. Did we ever see anything in the reports? Did I find it? Yes. Yes, I found something connected to what you were talking about, but I think it actually ended up being something different, but it based off of what your comment was, if that makes any sense. We'll get to it. You'll just have to remind me when we get there. Yeah. Yeah. Bro. Yes. I'm starting to do like a Stop Making Stupid People Famous series on my other channel, and I put the first video up today. I think it was this morning. That person is psychotic. I know. Super psychotic. Okay, so someone else mentioned that part too. The only part that I can really say about that is there's an article. I want to say it was written by the Idaho Statesman, where one of the officers actually does like an interview and like gets rid of all of the things that Dateline had wrong, which is also about like somebody sitting in the chair. Let's see if this is it. No, this is not it at all. Search. What would the wording for this be? Oh, come on, get out of my face. Debunk leaked information. Like, I know that Bill Thompson came out and was like, we're not going to speak on what was true and what wasn't, but there was already an interview. And that part was in there where, oh gosh, I'm going to have to find it. I've been meaning to find it and like do a video on it separately, but you know, there's always like a freaking 1,000 million things. Idaho Statesman article. Try one more thing. Debunking, what was it? Dateline leaked information. Okay, it's been updated, so I don't know if it still has all of the information in it that was debunked. And it doesn't have me signed in, which is crap because I actually had to pay for this subscription. But you know what? Since it's an updated file, here, in case y'all are like logged into Statesman or whatever, this should be the updated one. I don't really like that. I know that I have to have a screenshot or something somewhere where we talked about this, or maybe in like a live we talked about this before, but it was the Idaho Statesman article from back in August, and it was was it Gundy? No, who's the other one? Who's the one always in the suit? I don't remember his freaking name. I think it starts with a G. It's not the cop. It's the other guy. Anyway, he's the one that interviewed with Idaho Statesman, and he was doing the whole, okay, well, we know that there's some leaked information that was correct and some that wasn't. And they updated it, which bothers me because that means that they might have taken out something that they actually admitted wasn't true for some reason. But that'll have to be something separately that we do. But yeah, that was something that they said wasn't true. So I don't know where it came from for Dateline to say it. I mean, honestly, it is, because so much about that is wild too. Yeah, that's crap. That was crap. Going in or out of room. Oh, like the direction of the diamond soled shoe print. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. But yeah, they haven't said anything. We haven't gotten any details about that. Well, actually, they tried to say that it showed that it was like it had to be the suspects because it was going towards the way that Dylan is claiming to have seen the person. But we've talked about like we've pulled up the photos of what it looks like to be standing in her doorway. There's no way that she could see where the sliding door actually opened unless she actually physically walked out of her room. That's what these photos showed us, that she's not really being honest about how that works. I think some people thought that some of the lights that were on the wall might be security cameras, but they're not as far as we know. But then again, there was something said really strange one time by Steve Goncalves. I think it might have been on Drunk Turkey channel. I think it might have been the interview he did right before the Dateline and the stuff came out. I'll have to go back and check. I feel like we talked about him saying something about a security system, or maybe it was that round of interviews, but it was never he was with Ashley Banfield. That's what it feels like. But he said it like in passing. He said it like in passing. It was crazy. I'm pretty sure that the PCA says diamond shape. I'll go pull it up right now, because that's the first place we heard it from. And I haven't seen them like mention it anywhere else. The only one that we have a lot of information on is the one outside. I said Control F. Do what you're supposed to do. Yeah, it definitely says diamond. It doesn't say anything about hexagonal. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene. So that's something that we always have to remember too. It wasn't there originally. So it could have been from somebody who was walking the house, like as the bodies were being found. It might actually not have anything to do with anything, which is something I've mentioned before, because we don't know if everyone went in there with protective gear on their boots or what was going on. We don't know. We also don't really know what shoes everyone else that was summoned over that morning were wearing. So it could be somebody who walked through the house right before the cops got there, after the cops got there, that was part of the processing. We don't really freaking know, especially because they found it during the second processing. But the detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole just outside of the door of Dylan's bedroom located on the second floor. And that's the only thing they say, is that it's consistent with the statements regarding the suspect's path of travel. But I don't really think so, because they're not showing us a picture of it to let us know exactly the direction that it went. And again, like she can't see she can't see the slider. I know it's my favorite water. That and Smart Water, I really like both of them, but Core is probably my favorite water. Probably my favorite water. Hey. I mean, I don't really quite understand that because they were in a room. She could have gotten something from Bethany's room unless it was like for show, honestly. Because if that was her shoe that actually does have something on it because she was walking around the house, maybe she's just, I don't know. For show, maybe. That part too, maybe. Was there ever a video on the interview with the coach's wife? The question was asked if... Now, we went through that interview, and I don't remember that question being asked of the wife. I remember us going through those interviews, though. I mean, the reports, anyway. I'm pretty sure they had to have. But I don't really remember. I mean, damn, did they? I know that they ended up bringing a dog out. And there's a lot of them like walking around the whites and the apartments and the neighborhoods. But I don't really remember reading anything about them going through that wooded area. That's actually a good freaking question. I'm going to need to do some research on that. Because there's a lot right there that's pretty densely wooded. I don't remember. A lot of the reports have like streets and stuff on it. So that's a good question. Yeah, that's the big issue. There was so much evidence in that house, and to destroy the house, I still don't understand the lack of blood considering the amount of stab wounds per person. I know. Isn't that insane? You just found some sort of... Oh, God. Is it the Lifetime one? Is it already out? Who was a retiree that went on the news and claimed... good. Yes, I'm glad you said that because I have that written down. Now, I know for a fact... that same person, or at least, well, I can't say I know for a fact, I guess, honestly, because it could be two guys out there that are lying. But there was a guy with that exact same description that he was retired and that their daughter, him and his wife's daughter, had died in like a drunk driving accident. So he was like a driver at night for the college area because of what happened to his kid. He came on to Dago's show, or Dago talked to him. I went to go try to find it. I guess he never clipped it, or maybe it's gone. I don't know. But that's where that originally came from for me to know of. And that's when I think it was CJ Evil. Is it Evil or Evil? I don't know how the frick he says it. But I think he went in and compared a bunch of different articles. And then I went in and found a whole bunch of things and put some things together about license plates and stuff that he was like marking. And I think we did all this a while back. I'll have to go back into the videos and look, but I know that we did a deep dive into like all the discrepancies with this guy before we started getting the information. And then of course now we know, he actually was an Uber driver. He got off the clock at 1:15 before he got a text from Kaylee to pick them up. The problem again is something that's on the list, which I guess we should just talk about it. And let's just do it. Let's just do it now. We'll just do it out of order since we're on the discussion of it. The thing is this: they did not know this guy at all. The Goncalveses. Olivia has said herself in interviews that they didn't know anything about this guy and only had his number because they had access to Kaylee's phone records because of the way that their accounts were. So she was able to see text messages and phone calls, like phone numbers, right? And she said that while her and her husband and the kids, while she was pregnant, she was going through the information, texting everyone, trying to get all the information she could, calling all the numbers. And it was when she talked to this private driver on the phone, that's when he told her about the Twitch stream stuff. Okay. That's the story that came from Olivia most recently in reports. And when it comes to her doing interviews about how they actually found the stuff, it's interesting to me now going back and listening, because you'd think they would have had their future daughter-in-law clean up her YouTube page of their lies. So I went in and found it because I thought that this was stated in a Bryan Inton interview, and it was not stated in a Bryan Inton interview. It was stated in a Chronicles of Olivia interview that they did on January 13th of 2023. And I was really surprised about the way that I felt when I went back in and watched this. And I'm just going to say this now because y'all already know how I feel about Steve especially. This looks like he was trying to control the narrative from day one. He's inserting information. He's pressuring the shit out of Olivia. She's sitting there apologizing and looking at him like she's got this just like stress all over her to make sure that she says the right thing. This gives me such effed up vibes now that it's been so long and we know the truth. So let's go ahead and watch this and I'll mark it off the list. But I got this clip earlier today, knowing that this is what we were going to be talking about. Can I make this a bit bigger? But watch how Olivia's face is. Watch Steve's face when he's like basically pressuring her to say certain things. It sure does, Whitney. If you can find the one, I mean, I don't know, unless somebody can reach out to Dago and ask him if he still has it on his channel. I went and searched private driver, Idaho 4 driver, like in the keywords where you can like go to somebody's channel and check it. And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. I like Swedish fish too. Okay, so yeah, let's play this. This is just, it's only a minute and 9 seconds. It's where this is being said, and it is so crazy to me that they left this in here now that we know the truth. Okay. Let me know that you guys can hear this. And again, before I play this, by now, January 13th, 2023, they would have known the truth about the events that took place that night. And they still chose to lie. They still chose to lie.
Yeah, they Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Private driver.
See, he's private driver.
They had a private driver.
Saw his face. I'm gonna play the whole thing through and then I'll stop and run my mouth.
Yeah, they Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Private driver.
They had a private driver. I apologize. It was a private driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
We knew him as a family member, and he really helped us.
Yeah.
He turned us on to food truck stuff.
Yeah.
He's a great person.
Good people. And then we only went to like known locations with known people, traveled only together on well-lit, known streets to get food before taking a private ride from the same individual who would pick them up home to go eat after a night of drinking, being 21, Ubering out, Ubering home with your friend.
They were totally shut
and then going to bed.
They were doing everything the way that you tell your kid to go.
No, they weren't.
Don't be two girls all by yourself. Have somebody there that can walk with you. Everything was perfect. Everything was good.
No,
all the way up to where they went to bed and went to sleep.
Yeah.
And that I can't control.
Lies. Let's go back so I can run my mouth. You ready?
Yeah, they Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Probably true. I don't know. Most likely. It's the club. It's in the same area.
Private driver.
I don't know why he's feeling the need to like make sure that this is emphasized if he knows he's already going to lie about who this person is.
They had a private driver. I apologize. It was a private.
See how she looks? She's just like, okay. Private
driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
We knew him as a family member.
We knew him as a family member. Steve Goncalves, you freaking liar. What in the actual shit is wrong with you coming out to over 700,000 people and lying about you knowing the person who took your daughter home that night? No, you freaking didn't. And then to call him a family member and then to also then say that he's such a great person. Mr. Airplane Bottle, are you freaking serious? Steve Goncalves, why did you feel the need to lie? Why are you feeling the need to pressure your daughter into stating this narrative the exact way that you want it stated? You have a lot to answer for. This is wild.
Private driver.
Then he rolls his eyes.
I apologize. It was a private driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
We knew him as a family member, and he really helped us.
Yeah.
He turned us on to food truck stuff.
Yeah.
He was a great person.
Good.
Him telling them about the grub truck stuff, the video stuff, is the only thing that Steve said that's a true statement.
People, and then only went to like known locations with known people, traveled only together on well-lit, known streets to get food.
But that's not true either. What did we find out? That's not where they were going. They were originally going to leave with or without Showalter and go down to John's alley. They were going to go regardless if Homeboy was walking with them or not. They did not make sure they had a chaperone. They did not take all these precautions. And granted, it doesn't make a damn difference. It didn't stop whatever freaking happened. And it has nothing to do with anything. But for Steve to come out here lying about all this when at this point he would have known already. He would have known already. They were the ones who had the 11-12 footage before the cops really knew what the frick was going on. Remember, it took forever for them to get anything from it because the formatting was something that they had no idea how to handle. And then the owner was out of town for forever. The Goncalveses knew a lot more about what actually went down when it comes to the social events and the timeline than they're letting on. The crime itself, nothing at all. They've made everything the frick up. When it comes to this, look how much he's lying. Why? Why are you lying about something so simple? It doesn't matter if you did not know him. Why are you calling him a family member? He's a driver. You're not supposed to know your Uber driver. It's not supposed to be that serious.
People, and then only went to like known locations with known people, traveled only together on well-lit, known streets to get food before taking a private ride from the same individual who would pick them up home to
not chaperoned. Not chaperoned. It's amazing how shiny he wants to look when he's got a whole child and a granddaughter that he doesn't have nothing to do with. Just, it's absolutely absurd to me. Damn.
Go eat after a night of drinking, being 21, Ubering out, Ubering home with your friend.
They were totally
and then going to bed.
They were doing everything the way that you tell your kid to go.
They were about to be duck walking, drunk as shit, to wherever they were going to be going alone. Steve. And again, it doesn't matter either way. It has nothing to do with what happened. But why are we exaggerating and not being honest? This is so stupid. It's been from day one. Day one. Yes, and if Jack would not have said okay to hanging out with them, they would have done so alone. They would have done so alone. It was this one. It just played. He called him a family friend. Because it's not true. Everything he's saying is crap. No, I've seen it since the beginning. I've been talking shit about Steve for years. I mean, probably the lies, yeah. See, I know. As soon as we read that part of the report, I was like, isn't there a freaking airplane bottle on the step? But then again, it could have been that he gave it to one of the girls before they got out the car. Me neither. The second that Christy said that her dead child was just being a brat about getting back with Jack and they were going to end up back together and she was being a brat, I was like, okay, that's really crazy. That's wild. Yeah, because he kept lying and putting a bunch of false information out there for no reason. Yeah. In the very beginning, with the same kind of pressure, with the same kind of aura, with the same kind of vibe that this is. Listen to this one more time. It's only a minute long, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. I just crossed it off the list.
Being 21, Ubering out, Ubering home with your friend.
They were totally
and then going to bed.
They were doing everything the way that you tell your kid to go. You
know,
don't be two girls all by yourself. Have somebody there.
Oh, it didn't start over. Hold on.
They Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Private driver.
They had a private driver. I apologize. There was a private driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
Knew him as a family member, and he really helped us.
Yeah.
He turned us on to food truck stuff.
Yeah.
He was a great person.
Good people. And then we only went to like known locations with known people, traveled only together on well-lit, known streets to get food before taking a private ride from the same individual who would pick them up home to go eat after a night of drinking, being 21, Ubering out, Ubering home with your friend.
They were totally shut
and then going to bed.
They were doing everything the way that you tell your kid to go. You
Yeah.
know, don't be two girls all by yourself. Have somebody there that can walk with you. Everything was perfect. Everything was good.
Yeah.
All the way up to where they went to bed and went to sleep. And that I can't control.
When he's really been trying to control every little damn thing he possibly could since the very beginning. Isn't that insane? Right? Like how? Probably a long time ago. I don't remember. I'm sure I've read all of theirs, like in the very beginning. Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. Because Olivia damn straight was like, I knew from going through Kaylee's stuff. That was the first time we'd ever talked to him. Freaking insane. Okay. Especially in that one, right? Like you can kind of tell. It's really interesting, the dynamic flip here. Because now it seems like Steve is the little meek one. And Olivia has now like changed her entire personality. But maybe it's because of the way that this situation first started. And he kind of made her have no choice. It's interesting. I don't know. The whole damn thing is crazy. Okay. So let's go to number one where we're talking about this knife situation. Actually, we were supposed to start with what is a Mandela effect. Let's take a second and we'll do that real quick. I'll play this part real quick. Is it up here? Or actually, let me do this poll real fast because we're meant to put polls up. Okay, start a poll. So go back to before I showed you this, okay? And I'll leave this up for like 5 minutes, starting now. And as this is going, I'm going to play the other video just so that I can get like an idea. 5 minutes. Okay. So let me show you guys what a Mandela effect is and like where it started. I do think I'm going to talk about these like actual ones that the whole world talks about probably on my second channel, because this kind of stuff has always like fascinated the shit out of me, especially when there's like mass amounts of people that all remember like the same thing, but then like so many people have different recollections of stuff. Like I think it's like really interesting. I find it interesting. Okay, so let's just listen to a few seconds of this just so you can get an idea, in case you didn't already, about where the term Mandela effect actually comes from.
The Mandela effect is a real phenomenon described as when a group of people adamantly believe an incident or experience occurred that never did. Scientists at the University of Chicago described the Mandela effect as, quote, an internet phenomenon describing shared and consistent false memories for specific icons in popular culture. They found that it is both empirically observable as well as, so far, having no clear explanation. The term was created by a self-proclaimed paranormal consultant, Fiona Broom, in 2009 after she discovered she was one of many people who wrongly remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, while the South African civil rights leader...
Like, I didn't even know anything about this person because I was born in like 88, right? So if it was taught, it was like a fleeting thing. But I was always under the assumption that before I was born, this person was no longer alive. That was what I always thought. So then when it turned out that that's not true, that did kind of like throw me for a loop, because that's what I thought my whole life.
Lived on until 2013. In one of the most popular instances of the Mandela effect, people adamantly claim that there's a 1990s movie about a genie called Shazam, and starring
Okay, yeah.
actor and comedians.
We're not going to get on all these. But yeah, there's a lot. Like Berenstein Bears, this movie being real or not. There's all kinds. The Fruit of the Loom logo. Like, it's wild. It's actually insane how many people have differences. But people are also, we'll see it then again, it's like the days of AI. So you can't trust anything. But there were some like older versions of stuff that people found from like storage units and stuff like that had like the other versions of stuff, or at least that's what it looked like. That's why a lot of people have just like a lot of theories about all like the insane stuff when it comes to all of that. Okay. So now we're going to talk about what started this whole thing, which is the situation with Hunter. And I'll change the poll here in just a second after this one goes. It still has like 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. Wow, 33% says they don't remember. That's crazy. Okay. So as I was going in and getting the clips, and I'll pull that up because I'm going to play that again from what I had yesterday to show you guys. And then we're going to play the original ones I took them from. Did I copy it for myself? Yes, I did. So I'm going to play you where I put the two videos together. It's only 3 minutes. And then we're going to play the same amounts from the original videos. Now, when I went in to do this, put these together, I was expecting to see Hunter taking the knife out of his pocket. Because in my mind, that's what I remembered watching happen. But after the past like 24 hours, I've really been like deep thinking about this situation, okay? Because it's not there. That's not what happened. That's not what the frick happened, okay? I really thought that is what happened. And so I actually said something about that in the video that I posted. But then in the edit, because as I went and got the clips to put them together, that's not what I saw. I took all of that out because it was incorrect information. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Why do I remember it that way? But I didn't say anything. But then I saw comments saying that they remember it that way. And I was like, holy shit. That's crazy. Because so do I. And that's not what happened. So hear me out. Because this is what I think actually happened. I think all of our minds played a trick on us because we were trying to fill in the gaps. Because what in reality do we actually see? And again, I'm going to play all that stuff here in just a second. This is about to go off. Hopefully it's not too loud. What we see, and at first, I'll preface it with this. At first, here on this channel, we did not see... Okay, it's over. Dismiss. We did not see the knife on the ground. We saw a knife on the table, but only after the officer and Hunter have walked down towards Xana's room. And then we slowed down and we tried to look and see, okay, was it in his hand already? What's going on? Does it look like he took it out of his pocket? So because the clips are showing, and it's really horribly redacted, but because the clips are blurry, it's redacted, it's chaotic, we're watching Hunter sort of like turn, but we don't see him actually pull anything out of his pocket. We don't see actually anything in his pocket. We just know that all of a sudden there's a knife on the table and our brains are trying to like explain exactly why and how. How the frick did that just happen? So I think that the majority of us saw that, and logic and common sense just maybe like sort of took over. And until we realized that there was something on the damn ground that's then suddenly not on the ground as the knife is now on the table, we were thinking, well, obviously it was in his pocket. But that's, again, not the case. So I'm going to show you the clip. Yeah, I don't either, especially since no one saw him doing that. It's a hoodie. Especially since no one saw him. That's a problem for me. It really is a problem for me. Okay, so I'm going to play the clip that I created for yesterday's video. And then we're going to play it from... That's what I thought, bro. Because I was like, right, we were not paying attention to the ground at all. And like, I wrote all of this down because like I was like seriously trying to think about like, why would my brain think that, and why would so many other people think that too? And that's the only thing that I can think of, because we weren't looking down there and our brains were trying to figure it out, and it was a discussion that we had of could it have been, and it sort of just like rolled from there is how I think, because I remember us talking about it. I remember the conversation, and we did go back and look. But see, to the table. Yeah, to the table. Yeah, well, okay, we're going to look at it right here. But he never mentions picking this damn thing up off the floor. He never does. Let me change the poll real quick. Okay, it pretty much didn't change. Let me change the poll real quick, and then we'll play this little bit. Yeah, these statistics are going to be interesting. Okay. So then, end poll. And let me grab that right there, because that's the final one. Okay. So then we'll do, where did you think the knife was before it ended up on the table? Floor with Hunter. Or actually, I'll put on Hunter's person. And I damn sure don't remember the floor. I remember thinking for sure it had to have been in his pocket. But I'm also going to read you a piece from the book. I cannot believe, can we not like sue James Patterson and Vicky Ward for complete nonsense? If we have the facts that prove that this is utter nonsense, which we already do. When I read you what this freaking pathetic piece of wasted tree life says about this portion right here, you're going to be like, guess what? What? Okay, let's go ahead and play this. I'll make myself smaller because this screen is like really, really important. So let me do this. I want it actually like bigger. Hold on. I really do want this like a lot bigger. And I'll go in and like get rid of all this crap of me like finagling the screens and stuff. Is that really the best it's gonna do? No, I didn't think so. Okay, now as it goes to the spots where you can see it on the ground, you're gonna see that I have like enlarged it. Like the original one is still there. I'll remove these two for a second. The original one is still there, but then I've also enlarged it where it is on the ground. So what is this? 3 minutes. 3 minutes for this video. Never hear that.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
Yes.
See, he's down there already. His hands are on his head.
Where at?
Now they're
Up
down.
here?
He's walking up. There it is on the ground. Hunter walks forward. Can't hear anything he's saying. I didn't check him yet, is what he just said about Ethan.
Okay, do it.
See, get back. This is where we look. See, it's not there yet.
1370.
He goes back to the room. We don't know what the hell Hunter is doing right here.
Okay, stay back there, please.
Okay, stay back there, please.
Fuck.
I don't remember him ever being told to put it down, but I could be wrong. See, he's still standing like with his hands up. And now it's on the table.
Slow down.
He never says a word to him about put anything down.
There's two.
And now the knife is not on the ground. This part right here is interesting to me.
Dude.
What's he got there?
See, that part's interesting to me. I'm going to pause it for a second because at this point, that knife is already on the table. So I don't think he's talking about Hunter because the knife's already on the table. So I think this is talking about Ethan. I mean, what else could it be at this point? We already know the knife's on the table. And then, of course, everything's redacted. This whole thing is quiet.
Make sure.
No, he didn't. See, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot make it up and be like, oh, he told him to put it down and they cut it out. No, it's not there. We cannot sit there and pretend and make it up. Somebody else tried to say that. They tried to say, oh, he's trying to tell him that he had it on the ground or he dropped it on the ground, but we don't hear it because it fades away. You cannot make up stuff. That's not what's being said. There's even an interview and he says it over and over again. He never mentions one time about the damn thing being on the ground. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And how it got missed in the body cams, how they're just allowed to like not mention this part when this seems so important, I don't understand. But we can't sit here and say, oh, even though we can't hear it, it must have been there. It must have been said. No, we don't do that here. We're not doing that. A lot of people have mentioned the fact that Hunter's stance reminds them of Chris Watts. I know of the case. I know plenty about the case to know my opinion of that case. I know what scene they're talking about. It'd be interesting to go in and compare with all the questions that we have now that we physically see problems of, and comparing how he's standing compared to Chris Watts, and then compare what people that are apparently experts say about Chris Watts's interpretation. And I really wonder if those same people would say the same thing about Hunter if they were to watch this. So where's the body language experts? I'd really like to know which ones I should ask because I would really like a good opinion.
You find them?
Yeah, the roommates called me this morning to come check because they thought they saw someone in here last night and they went into their rooms. I came over when they called and I opened the door and I saw that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and step downstairs here. Is there anybody else upstairs? Or anybody else
I don't know.
Here? Don't touch anything. Don't touch it.
I grabbed that knife in the kitchen because when I went in there, I didn't know if there was someone in there. But
Okay.
I just grabbed it just to make sure.
You got your ID with you?
No, I can tell you my name.
Okay. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to play Noons. Has it been 5 minutes? Did I even set the timer? See, most people are saying on Hunter's person. I didn't even set the timer. But it says I did it 6 minutes ago. So in poll. And what is it at? 70% said they thought it was on Hunter's person and 30% said the floor. But I really am wondering how many of y'all are being honest about that because I know that like nobody mentioned it being on the floor for quite a long time. Yes, I can because that's not what's being said. You're doing what I just said. Your brain is trying to create a connection and you're just unaware of it apparently because it's not said. It's not said. So, okay, we're going to go and watch the originals. Let me leave this open. Okay, so Connor, Idaho. All right, so we're going to do Noons first, but we're also going to play through to where Warner is talking to Hunter outside and he shows his hands. Because I know that in the information that I did the video of that I'm editing where it comes to item number 76 and 77 in the very specific video that y'all wanted me to watch. You never seen such a tacky freaking intro in my whole damn life. We are going to be going over that very specific information, but I wanted to show you Warner's video where he talks to Hunter because he shows his hands, and I'm going to be showing that clip in that video too, but it's important because he does take him out of his pockets, he opens his hands up, and he does the whole like flippity-floppity thing, and it's all on camera. It's all on camera. So let's start with Noons. Where you be at? There it is right there. we're going to play it from him getting there. Let me pull this up. Now, this is the original. This is not me doing anything to it in order to make it what I need to for what I'm trying to tell. Okay, so this is the original. And then we're going to play Warner's as well. And I don't hear anything. And I didn't do anything to those besides like put them together and sync them. So it should definitely all be the exact same audio. I don't think this is going to mess up anything on the screen with where I'm at now. Hold on, let me fix this. And once we're done with videos, I'll put the comments back up. Okay, let's just play this for a few minutes until they get Hunter outside.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
Yes.
Where at? Up here?
Up here. You got us all that someone, they're looking at normal. And I just came to check in here and see what I just found. And I checked to see if she was real.
I checked to see if she was real.
I didn't check her yet, but
I didn't check.
13. Okay, do it.
I don't know if we're still in here or not.
Let's see, it's still not there.
1370.
I want y'all to keep in mind that the bathroom window, that the bathroom light is off. I just want y'all to like keep that in your heads. I know that it's probably been talked about, and I know that we've mentioned it before, but there's a reason. Not for this video. There's a reason I'm telling you to pay attention to the fact that this is a bathroom light that's not on.
Okay, stay back there, please. Fuck.
It's on the table now.
Slow down. Just come here. There's two. Looks like fatalities. Dude.
See, the knife's already down. So if he was going to be told to put the knife down, it would have happened already. The knife's already on the table. It was not said. It was not said to put the knife down. Yeah, just to the officer coming up the step. He didn't say anything at all to him about anything. Nope. Yeah, because they silenced it. That's their redactions.
All right.
He starts off with, yeah, they called me this morning. See, he's not even telling the truth here. He's not saying they called my girlfriend this morning. He's saying they called me this morning, and that's not what happened. This is Noons going outside.
Okay.
And that's it. So now we go to Warner. And we still have to sit here and go through Warner's whole body cam. I'm just, reminding you guys of that. We still have to do that. Okay, so let me get to where he's pulling in. Not all the running. Not inside. Okay, this is good. Yeah, at the end there, because Hunter is like reaching over to point at it, and that's after it's already on the table and they're leaving, they're going back outside. It's after the fact because he doesn't want Hunter to touch it. He thinks Hunter's trying to touch it when he's just trying to tell him that he got it from the kitchen. But he didn't. We just saw what happened, and I just don't know why it's not being said anywhere.
Upstairs. Okay.
See, it's not there. It's right here on the table. It's already there. No one told him to put it down.
What's he got there?
It's amazing this person's calling us idiots while lying about seeing photos that were just released. That's amazing. That's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. It's on the floor as the officer is walking up the step. So it was on the floor and left on the floor as Emily has walked out of the house and as Hunter has been left alone in the house for however many minutes it takes before the police get there. I'm going to read some stuff from the book too. Just wait. Just wait until I read the stuff from the book. Oh my God.
Make sure.
Yes, yeah, she wasn't. She actually never even stepped foot on the second floor. According to her, she was walking up to the second floor, and right before she actually stepped onto the second floor, she not only saw the knife already on the ground, but then Hunter told her to turn around and get out of the house.
Yeah, they're.
Did you find them?
Yeah, the roommates called me this morning
Okay.
to come check because they thought they saw someone in here last night and they wanted to
It's going to be hilarious. That's the whole reason why I'm going to, actually.
the rooms. I came over when they called and I opened the door and I saw that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and step downstairs here. Is there anybody else upstairs? Or anybody else
I don't
up
know.
here? Don't touch anything. Don't touch it.
I grabbed that knife in the kitchen because when I went in there, I didn't know if there was someone in there. But
Okay.
I just grabbed it just to make sure.
You got your ID with you?
No, I can tell you my name.
Okay. Just sit right here.
Okay, so there's going to
Nobody
be
else
a
inside?
part
Is there anyone else inside?
where he shows his hands. Right here.
Let's go check it
He's
out.
going to go outside and he's going to show him his
If it
hands.
doesn't-
He's going to go like this for his hands.
Okay. Halfway turned around just now. All the people that were here right out front here.
Okay, where are we going to get? Okay, there's Hunter.
Right now.
What's that?
Do you need anything?
I need your ID.
This is where he sounds upset.
Oh yeah, just your info. I can grab your information. Okay.
This is the only part he actually sounds like he's upset. In the
How
other
many
interview
people
at
live
the police department,
Where's
he
that bad
doesn't.
place?
This is their place.
Okay.
There's
What's your name?
My name.
Middle and birthday.
I really just want to get to the part where he takes his hands out
What's your local address?
because we're still going to go through this footage itself.
They call you over here.
Yeah, they called me over here this morning, like 15 minutes ago.
They didn't call you though.
Okay. Okay. Hey, from. So I'm gonna do the girls.
I'm gonna start IDing on them.
Perfect.
Where did he do the hand thing? I didn't think it took that long.
What's your local address? They call you over here,
I'll just
they
make it
called me over here this
faster.
morning, like 15 minutes ago.
and you are.
Oh, I think I miss. Okay, hold on. Thank you, Whitney, for the $4.99. Why in the 911 call do they ask an officer about a defibrillator, but in the body cam, it looks like Nolan is on the phone or asking him for one? Oh, well, because the body cam is going so fast and cell phones are small, but you can hear her on the phone. Like, you can hear her talking to the dispatcher about, like, the officer being there and having the defibrillator. Because you do have to remember the saying that somebody else just said. At this point, Nunes actually thinks he's showing up to resuscitate someone. He thinks he's actually showing up for an unconscious person. So, yeah, though you can definitely tell that she's on the phone. Thank you for the $49.99 charm free. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm waiting for them to show his hands because he pulls them out and flops them over. I just don't remember what timestamp it was.
99. That's right out. License title correct. Okay. Hey, firm. So I'm gonna do the girls.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Perfect. Who do you know that was here?
So the girl in the middle with the green pants, long pants, and the blonde girl behind her,
Liquor?
they live here. And then
Are those
the
other
girl,
girls just neighbors or?
yeah, the girl in the blue shirts and the girl in the orange sweatshirt live with me over
Okay.
there.
That's not true. Hunter has his own place. He didn't live with Emily. He didn't live with Emily.
And then the guy in the gray sweatshirt just lives on campus.
Okay.
And then those two girls live here, and then that girl in her room is there, and there should be two more girls. I don't know what's going on out there, but there's two more girls, and then one lives right there as well.
Bethany.
One lives here. I haven't seen him in here. There's a locked door back here. What do you know what that leads to?
Which door? I don't know.
It's like a key access
I
or a
don't
code
know.
access.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Residence is clear.
We cleared it, yeah. Oh, sure.
We're going to play it till he does the hand thing. Because I remember it's not like instantly.
And then I literally got here, and
Yeah, you know
What
what? You
time
are right.
did
There's
they
not
call
even
you?
in a
Do you have
pocket.
your phone?
they didn't call me. They called my girlfriend.
Okay, so
But
now
it
he
was
tells him.
probably like,
Yeah, you're right. There's no pocket. I thought it was an actual hoodie. My bad. I really did think it was a hoodie. See, when he's upstairs and the cameras are going so fast, it looks like it has a pocket.
Upstairs. Okay.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's just a regular sweatshirt. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Damn. That's insane. Oh my God. We're all crazy. We're all crazy.
I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Me neither. I don't remember if it was overnight. See, I know that he left it there after. Okay, let me see. I remember the way that it was told is that he left it there after the get together at the Whites, meaning that he had gone back to 1122 at some point, and he left it there. And there were some selfies on it taken by, I think, Dylan and Maddie. I think we saw some of those. I'm pretty sure that was in the Amazon Prime series. That's the first time I think we heard that, was him saying that in the actual interview. There's got to be a way that we can watch that together, like actually physically have it on the screen. Like, I wonder if I do a stream that's completely not monetized at all, like if I turn off all of the monetization on it, if I can get away with playing it. I really do need to figure this out, because I'd like for us to be able to actually like watch the bullshit. Plus, I really have like another movie I want to watch with you guys somehow. But I want to do it here where everyone is. Like, I want to do it here where everyone is. See, that's what I don't know, though. I don't know what time he actually got it back. I don't know. It's just being said that it was after the get together at the Whites, because he took all the pictures, apparently. There was like 15 pictures that he took when it came to like the infamous picture that's out there now. God, there's so much. Yeah, well, I don't think all weekend, but like for at least a few hours that Saturday, which I said was really crazy. Because like, okay, you're a college age person. You're going back and forth doing whatever you're doing that day on a Saturday. It's busy. It's back and forth. And you just like didn't care about not having your phone for a few hours? I don't know anybody who's okay with not having your phone for a few hours. No, it's still a strike against the actual stream itself. See, I hate Discord. I hate Discord so much. Well, welcome to the grassless platform. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I got to figure that out. I'm waiting for him to show his hands. I mean, he sort of got them in and out, but he like pulls them all the way out and they're clean. But then again, he's had, I guess, time that he could have like wiped himself off, I guess, but not really. I'm just trying to say that for the video from
Then I literally got here and I saw that.
What
item
time
76,
did they call you?
his hands
Do you
are
have
real
your phone?
clean for
They
that.
didn't call me. They called my girlfriend,
Theory.
but it was probably like 20 minutes ago.
Who's your girlfriend? Is she here?
Yeah, she's in the blue shorts. Right
Blue
there.
shorts. Okay.
She got a call from her and asked us to come over because she didn't think something was right.
Okay.
And then as soon as I got here first, and I went upstairs and saw their bedroom, and I grabbed a knife from the kitchen because I didn't know if they were still in here.
Is this from my Google Drive? 'Cause that's the only way that works with the page number. But that doesn't make sense either because Noon's supplemental narrative is like one of the first ones. But we also just watched that not happen though. Okay, well, okay. What you're telling me to look at is this right here, from what I'm understanding. Because see, all 315 supplemental records from MPD is only 578 pages. So page 1272 is not going to work. And Noon's report is, let's see. Noon's report is, this is Warner's. This is Noon's right here. I mean, I'm glad it was mentioned, but we'll go ahead and we'll read it right here. Let's see. Okay. On 11/13/22 at approximately 11:56 hours, I responded to an unconscious subject at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. Upon my arrival, I found a large gathering of people in the parking lot immediately north of the 1122 King Road residence. 1122 King Road is a white 3-story single-family residence with multiple bedrooms. The 1122 designation is located directly above the front door facing north. I was directed to a bedroom on the second floor by HJ in the northwest corner to locate an unresponsive female. That's all it says about Hunter. But what paper? I just show, like, this is all of it. There's only 578 pages. Are you talking about ISP's reports? Because ISP wouldn't have a report from Noon's. So I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, Gail. Oh, okay, here it is. You are right to go back down. Okay, I see it. Okay. But that's... okay. As I backed out of this room, Hunter showed me a kitchen knife and said he had it in his possession. I told Hunter to leave the knife and go back down the stairs to the front entrance. Yeah, but him saying he had it in his possession is just him saying that he had gotten it out the kitchen. That's not saying that he's telling him to put it down. Yeah, no, you're right. It's this one. I just didn't see the very bottom. But that's still not him saying that he told him to put it down. And him saying that it was in his possession just means that the same thing that we just heard Hunter say. He told the police officer that he went to the kitchen and grabbed it. That is him saying that he did have the knife in his possession. And he did tell him to leave. Well, actually, no. Did Noon say anything? Or was it Warner that said it? But was it Warner or Noons that actually said that to him? I don't remember Noons saying anything. Let's go back to that for a second here. Right? Right, but we don't hear. Like, it's one thing for us to not to be able to hear Hunter, but we should hear if Noons is saying something to him. It was the one that was Warner. See, Gail, I'm glad that you freaking mentioned that. I'm glad that you mentioned that because now we can see, yeah, you're right. Noons' report. What the frick? Why is there always more deception? Can't deal with this anymore. Holy shit. Okay. No, you're freaking absolutely accurate. What the hell, bro? This is Noon's report, and he's saying that he said something that we heard Warner be the one to say. Let's go back. God dang. Why? Why is this life like this? This is so insane. Okay, let's do this one more time. Let's listen real good. Listen real good for Noons to talk. I'll put the captions on too to see if it might capture anything. Oh my God, did I just get rid of them? Okay. To see if it might capture. Oh my God, what is happening? Is it just because there's nothing going on right now? The caption thing keeps going away. Okay, maybe it's because there's nothing happening right now. Okay. But see, that wouldn't, to me, that part right there wouldn't make any sense because the redactions are for the most part, like after we see it on the table. I hate this so much. Okay, let's listen. This is Noons. Unbelievable.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
Yes.
Where at? Up here?
Up here.
We got a call. This is what he's starting with. There it is. I came and checked in on there.
And I checked this using the that she's. And I didn't check him yet, but
I'm 13.
I haven't checked him yet. Okay.
Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. I grabbed the knife. They're like,
1370.
He just said it.
Okay, stay back there, please.
Now I can hear him talking. Did he just have it in his hand? Is that where that happened? I just heard him say, "This is the knife I grabbed." Why can I hear it so much? Why can I hear it so much better when I'm listening to it straight this way? Did the noise suppression take it out?
Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. I grabbed the knife. They're like,
1370. Okay, stay back there, please.
Stay back there, please. Hey, did you just pick it up?
Fuck.
And now it's on the table. So we never heard him say to put it down, but we do hear Hunter say, "This is the knife I grabbed." So is that when he's like, did the officer watch him place it on the table? Can you say you could actually hear it hit the table? Okay, hold on. Let me fix this. This looks like it's off.
Okay, stay back there, please. Fuck.
I'm listening. It's already there. I don't hear a drop.
13.
Okay, hold on.
and I checked this using the that she's. And I didn't check him yet, but
I'm 13. Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
1370. Okay, stay back there, please.
I heard it. So as he's telling Noons, "This is the knife I grabbed," This must be when Hunter has now crouched down, grabbed the knife, and then we hear it plop. But he never says anything. See, that still doesn't make any sense to me. What I need to know is if Nunes actually saw him pick it up, or if he picked it up as Nunes' back was turned to him. Because for him to say he had it in his possession, but he does not tell him to put it down, that's a straight up lie. As I backed out of the room, Hunter showed me a kitchen knife and said he had it in his possession. I told Hunter to leave the knife and go back down the stairs to the front entrance. That's not true. That's a flat out lie. Flat out lie. I mean, that's true. But it's convenient.
Yep.
It sounds like what metal would sound like hitting that kind of table. I have one of those.
Where?
Okay, see, maybe so. I think maybe he might have seen him with it in his hand maybe at some point as he was going to put it on the table, but it seems like his back would have been turned to him as he was picking it up and as he was putting it down. Right? That part too.
Up here?
Up here. You got to call from them that's we're looking normal. And I just came to check in here and you can write this down. And I checked this using this video and I didn't check him yet, but I'm pretty
13. Okay, do it.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. Really just I grabbed the knife.
1370. Okay, stay back there, please. Fuck.
Okay, see, it's already on the table. He never tells him to put it down, and he never tells him to go outside. It's Warner that does that. It is freaking Warner that does that.
In here or not.
What did you?
So why in the actual shit is the report wrong? Why are you not being honest? But he doesn't tell him that either. That's the point. He didn't say anything at the point of the knife being there. But that's why we're going back, because I'm pretty sure that Warner is the one, because Warner leads him outside. This isn't true. There is nothing in any of the forensic reports that says that there was any testing at all even done on this knife. I went and searched for all the keywords, knife, all the things, all the different ones. No. There is nothing in the 2,356 pages from ISP that even says testing was done. It was tagged by MPD. It doesn't show anywhere where actual testing was done on it. So, no.
What's he got there?
None of them. See, and this is the part that I said is really strange, because at this part, we've already seen the knife is on the table. So what does he mean when he says, what does he got there? There's only two options. It's either Hunter doing something with something else as the knife's already on the table, or this has something to do with Ethan.
Make sure.
Yeah, they're.
Did you find them?
Yeah, the roommates called me this morning to come check because they thought they saw someone in here last night and they went into the rooms. I came.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like they would redact a conversation about whatever was going on with Hunter. I feel like that'd be kind of pointless. I hate that they redacted so much information from these.
Over when they called, and I opened the door and I saw that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and step downstairs here. Is there anybody else upstairs or anybody else?
I don't know.
Here? Don't touch anything. Don't touch it.
I grabbed that knife in the kitchen because when I went in there, I
He's
didn't
telling
know
him, don't touch it.
But
Okay.
I just grabbed it just to make sure.
You got your ID with you?
No.
When you are writing a report, you're supposed to go back to your body cam and be honest. So yes, considering that he wrote the report after this event and his job is to be accurate, and the person who reviewed the report is supposed to make sure that the damn thing is accurate. Yes. Can we actually start holding people to the freaking standard that they're supposed to be freaking held to? That is their job, to do exactly what you're over here nitpicking and bitching about me bitching about. That's their job. That's their job. Don't be so dumb.
I can tell you my name.
Okay. Let's sit right here.
See, no, news never told him anything about going downstairs and getting out of the house or anything. That report is all a lie. That report is all a lie. That's insane. That's actually freaking insane. Okay. I'm still wanting to show the freaking hands. Are we going to get to it anytime soon? Because, like, I know that it's a little bit further down. It's like a last minute thing where he, like, asks him about his hands. Let me see if I can get to it faster. In full screen. Maybe not. You know what? Hold on. I know I can do what I always do with this. I'll put it back on the screen in a second. Oh, I can't do it on here. There's no transcript on Connor's video. Because I was going to control F hand. Show me your hands. It's like such for like a split second. Yeah, he's already off track right here. Okay, we'll watch that whenever we do the actual full run through of Warner's body camera. Okay. This next one is going to be about the snap. That's number 2 on the list, the snap. Okay. We're going to talk about an email that we must not have the privilege of being able to actually see. Because it seems like the only mention of the snap when it comes to Riley Nowlin actually making mention of it is in an email that is mentioned at the footnote of a certain document. So what we're going to, I don't know why I just made myself bigger like that because I was already going to be showing y'all the document stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the hearing. Because at the closed session hearing in January, Ann Taylor spoke with Riley Nowlin. And this is where she had her validate about the snap. This was mentioned in court. So this is again January 2025. This is Ann Taylor having a conversation with Riley Nowlin, who works for the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab. This question: tell me where you think that sheath was swabbed for purposes of DNA collection. I believe the analyst swabbed there's kind of a snap or a button that was the top of the snap, and that's the area that was swabbed. There were other areas on it sampled as well. Well, that makes it sound as if you're swabbing the top of the button that we're told wasn't swabbed because you wanted to test it for fingerprints. So that automatically is like a false statement for you to say that it was at the top of the snap. And we know, according to the records and from whatever else you told us, you purposely did not swab the top of that button because you needed it for prints. So there's that. Now, when it comes to the rest of the documentation that has anything to do with Riley Nowlin, that has anything to do with Riley Nowlin and what she has to say, there's 4 other documents from 2025. That's as far as I went for the purposes of this video. From 2025 from her. If you do Control F, snap nowhere in this 15-page one, when it comes to touch and contact DNA, is the word snap mentioned at all. If anything, when it comes to the facts, it just says that a sample of DNA identified as Q1.1 was extracted from the swab by the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab. And I wasn't sure at first when I read this if they put the wrong word there. I was really sort of confused. And this is where we find out that this is where Riley Nowlin is the one who's supposed to testify to the touch or the contact and all of the bullshit, okay? We go to the next document. Oh, too big. This is another 10-page document that has to do with the contact DNA, Control F, snap, not mentioned at all. Not mentioned a single time. So then we go to this one, and this one's just 4 pages. Again, there's nothing here either. Nothing at all. Until we get to this one. From, I'll put the link in the thingy. What date was this? From February 24th, 2025. And snap is mentioned 4 times. I'm going to read this and then we're going to get to the footnote, because I'm pretty sure this is the document that has the footnote portion. In this case, the only DNA evidence that implicates Mr. Kohberger is the DNA found on the sheath in the residence. From the lab reports and notes, as well as recent testimony by Riley Nowlin, it appears that the sample Q.1 was a swabbing of the leather strap on the sheath, as well as the interior of the snap, not the outer surface snap, which apparently was not sampled in order to preserve the surface for fingerprinting. That's what we were told. But what's also a little bit weird, do I have this up still? Okay. So if we go back to the testimony from January, it says there's kind of a snap or a button that was the top of the snap, and that's the area that was swabbed. There were other areas on it sampled as well. And this is the only paragraph that mentions the freaking snap. It's only mentioned in here twice. So this again is stating the top area of the button. Okay. This is saying like the exact opposite. This is saying what we already thought was to be true, which is where the surface wasn't touched because they needed to fingerprint it. These are the opposite statements. These are opposite statements. So I'm not really quite sure why there's so much back and forth when it comes to the snap. But the only other thing that we know where it might be mentioned, or not might be, this is where it's mentioned. It's an email. And I can't personally find this email. I, again, need to go through all of the 2356 pages, but whenever you do that and do snap, I think there's only like 2 results. We're going to pull that up here in a second. When you type in email, there are emails from Riley Nowlin, and I've read through some of them, but none of them are talking about the snap, because if the word email is going to catch on that page, then the word snap would also catch on that page. And that's not what's happening. But this is the 3rd footnote. And it says, while item Q, is this showing the right one? Okay. While item Q1.1 was tested for DNA, it was never subjected to standard biological testing for the presence of blood or saliva. In one exchange of emails, Riley Nowlin described the swabbing as being of a leather strap and internal metal area of the snap, which again is the opposite of what this just said. This just said the button of the top of the button snap. So they can't even have matching information when it comes to the same person saying the information. It's opposite. I remember her calling it the sticky out part. Yep. Those are the exact words. She couldn't have, because the word snap isn't in here. So for her to correct herself, she would have had to have said the word again. I'll read further, but that's not what I'm seeing here. I'll read further. I could be wrong, but snap's only mentioned here twice. So then Anne continues. This is the transcript. For the purposes of unknown male A that you're telling us later came back to Bryan Kohberger. That's the only place I want to talk about right now. Are we on the bottom of the button? Okay, so the button, it's the button that the word changes. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look up button. Okay, so button is mentioned 7 times. This is about the genealogy thing. Okay, this is the same part right here. Okay, so let's continue this. Okay, for the purposes, okay. Are we on the top of the button, the outside, or on the inside, the socket portion of the button? That would be the inside of the sticky outy thing. I know on the top. I don't recall if she swabbed the underside or not. I'd have to look at her notes again. Do you know if that sheath was part of that preserved for fingerprinting? The swabbing was done first. That's our laboratory standard order of processing. If DNA is needed for fingerprints, they will work together. Essentially fingerprints will say we can see some possible ridge detail. So if you can avoid this area after DNA says we want to swab this, and they come to a decision of what would best suit that item of evidence to determine where to swab. So the swabbing takes place first. I don't see her changing her mind. Let's see if it changes down here. Okay, so here's right here. Okay. So this is Taylor again coming back. So it looks like the states come up and said a few things, and then Ann Taylor comes back. You're supposed to read it and let it refresh your recollection, and then not read it, but just tell me a summary of where it was. So they must have showed her something in court, probably the documents that we have. The entire leather portion of the strap, both top and bottom, and then the underside of the button. I misspoke. She did not swab the top of the button because that was determined to be the most likely place for fingerprints to be found. So you're right. She did recant herself later. But why is she having to? Why is she having to? Shouldn't she have already known that what she was saying was inaccurate? Shouldn't she have already known that what she was saying didn't make sense, not only for the chronological order of the way things are done, but just based on the fact that she's a forensic scientist and should automatically know that what she's saying is the opposite, is backwards? The fact that she had to be reminded of that, how am I supposed to be confident in any of the work that this woman did if her brain let her make that big of a mistake on the stand? And it took someone who's not a scientist and not a forensic person to then remind her, hey, you're wrong, actually. I'm not confident. I'm not confident in that. That's my point. Like, you should already know what you just said is opposite because you do this for a living. This is where the sticky out part came from. The underside of the button, was it the part that the sticky out part would go into, or the sticky out part, or both? I can't tell from this. I would have to look at her notes. Well, see, that's the thing. So they must be looking at the documents. So now we're at the part where I'm going to play a clip from the live where we went over everything when it came to this. It has all of the pictures. It has everywhere where they have it highlighted. It has everything that has it labeled. And I don't know where she's getting the snap from or the button from just in general, because nothing when it comes to what's being clarified in the actual documentation itself says either one of those words. The only time that the word snap is even mentioned is when it's describing the way that the knife sheath looks, if that makes any sense. That's like the only time that word is there. So let me push this way, and I'm just gonna like get it down right here and just let this whole thing play. Why is it looking like that? Ooh, I don't like that at all. Okay. This is how many minutes? Should only be a few minutes. 4 minutes. We did this live exactly a month ago on November 3rd. This is just going through the forensic documentation and going through everywhere that this damn thing was touched. This is the initial testing that they did to it, at least here. So 1.1 is this entire spot this way. And look, notice that it's like it goes around the button. See how it goes around the button? So one would assume that that means that it's the strap piece itself, because they're not mentioning the snap anywhere. They're not mentioning the button in literally anything. And it's talking about the fact that it's on the strap itself. Nothing about it being tested. This looks like it's going around it. I mean, there's nothing at all about anything when it comes to this itself. So we're going to go back over this one more time because this is the front strap. Now, I'm going to assume that because of the way that it looks that they swabbed like the smooth area and the rough side. You would assume that would be two different swabs. I'm not seeing anything where it's been separate. I was muted. Yep. Okay. So let me repeat myself. It sounds like I just repeated myself about this part, because this was from a live and I clipped a bunch that we talked about in between and then just put like the pieces for this very specific thing together. This was about, we went through all of the Q.1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. We went through all the information. We went through all of the actual nanograms of DNA. Like this live was full of actual like forensic information from the document drop. But I don't know if I say it in here, but I'm going to say it here. The story that they're wanting us to believe, if you put everything together with the snap button stuff and everything here, is they basically want us to believe they use the exact same Q-tip to swab both the leather and the button. And that's not okay. You would not do that. You would use one Q-tip for the freaking leather and you would use one Q-tip for the freaking button. So they want us to think they use the same Q-tip on both. And that's why it's together as 1.1. No. But that's what they want us to believe. And if that's really what they did, then instantly you're fired. You are fired. Like, come on. Read it out. I might have missed something. To me, it should be two different ones, and it doesn't look like that's the case. What they did say is that it came off as a light gray transfer, which is sort of interesting because you would expect it to be like a light brown because of the way that the material looks, but it was a light gray. And this is where we are getting the unknown male DNA that they claim to be Bryan Kohberger's DNA. Now, one of the issues, again, with this one specifically is that the entire DNA sample was consumed. There were extracts created. I don't know how many, but at least there was extract created. This one, just for like quantity-wise, was 0.168 nanograms per microliter. I took the information and put it in ChatGPT to have it sort of like break down the trace, like basically just like asked it, like, okay, take this amount of DNA. Would you consider this trace DNA for both of them? And yes, it very much does consider it trace DNA. It says that things would have to be amplified. You would have to do things to it, all the things. These were really, really, really low amounts. There's lots of manipulations and lots of different things that has to be done, like in order to like get to a result. So this is again 1.1. This is the Kohberger DNA right here, and you notice how it's little bitty nothing. So when it comes to this right here, this number, this is like the actual quantity of human DNA in the sample itself. This 0.168, that's human DNA in the sample. Freaking muted. Okay. No, I have a video about this from like 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. I feel like it probably was about that long. About Bethany not having a victim's rights form. And some people said it was because she wasn't living in Idaho anymore, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. It has to be filed in the state in which the incident happened. But yeah, no, we saw that. For sure, we saw that. That is the amount of nanograms in the sample itself. this number right here, the Y means male. This is telling me that 0.194 is the like nanograms of male DNA in the sample. I just don't know why the numbers are different. If we're being told that it was a single source pattern, like if it was a single source DNA, I don't know why aren't these the same. I feel like these numbers should be the same, or at least the amount of male DNA shouldn't like exceed the amount of DNA just in general. But this gives you a range. I still find it strange that the nanogram amount for the male DNA in the sample is a higher amount than the sample itself. I don't know if that's normal. I feel like that's probably not normal. Just when it comes to DNA in general, so that you can see just how little bitty this is. So I said, would you consider this amount to be trace DNA? And it said yes. 0.168 nanograms would definitely be considered trace or very low level DNA, and here is why. Typical lab ranges for DNA concentrations. High quality is 50 to 500. PCR ready DNA after the dilution, after they've done stuff, 1 to 50. Anything considered trace or low DNA is anything under 1. This is 0.168, not 1.68. This isn't even a whole one. You're well below what is considered trace DNA. Yeah. That's the portion that we went over before, just going over what came from the sample. So already it's like minuscule, absolute minuscule nothingness. And then they're being not really honest, and they're going back and forth about where exactly and how exactly the damn thing was swabbed. This is a big problem. Like, that's a big problem. I don't know why more people don't understand how big of a problem that is. I really kind of don't. I really don't. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about is the DoorDash, because that's still a big, huge freaking problem for me. It's probably always going to be a problem for me. I have not been doing the polls as we've been going because I'm horrible at keeping track of things. Have we only had one thing happen? Okay, so I think it's just about the snap. So I'll just do this one real quick because we all basically are like, yeah, we're trying to find out exactly what's going on with the snap thing. Who remembers this, the DNA being on the... Let me word this differently. Where was the DNA on the sheath found? And we'll do snap strap. Where were we told? That's better. Where were we told the DNA on the sheath was found? Okay. 'Tis starting. And now my 5 minutes have started. Okay. Okay. So now, what did I say we were going to talk about? The DoorDash. This still makes me mad about the DoorDash because that was like the one thing we were really hoping that we would get receipts for, that we would have some sort of confirmation on. And I know that we talk about it a lot, but we talk about it a lot because everything when it comes to Ethan and Xana's timeline is basically just like, there's nothing about when they got home. We are not getting a time in which the actual order was like made. And then when it comes to the information that we got from Molly, because she's so slow and because she does double dashes and because there's some sketchy shit going on that we're still trying to figure out with her weird friend hanging out in the Jack in the Box parking lot all night for her. Her getting back to Jack in the Box to pick up Xana and Ethan's order and her taking so freaking long that they thought that she wasn't coming back. So they threw it away and it had to be remade. I really hope that the police actually went and got that information. Does Molly's story match what is going to be seen on the cameras? Are they going to see them throwing food away and then Molly coming in and them having to make it all over again? Because that means she's having to sit and wait. So because she's so horrible at her job, let's be so for real, we can't even calculate how long before it actually got there that Xana made the order on Ethan's account, because she takes too long. She takes too long to do anything. When we were messing around on DoorDash, it basically said that an order would take like 30 minutes to get there from Pullman. When we were looking at it in the very beginning, to get to 1122, no matter, I think I even tried to like schedule one for like 4:20 pickup, 4:15 to 4:20 drop off, something like that. I think the way that DoorDash does it in like 20-minute increments for some reason, like 3 separate 20-minute increments, I think. So I remember that we had tried to figure all this out before, and we couldn't figure any of this out. And then we finally get some information, and it's even worse. It's even worse because now we really don't know. It could have been an hour and a half. It could have not been the 30 minutes. It could have been like an hour and a half. We don't know. And the biggest issue is that Dylan has given us weird information when it comes to Xana, which is why I said to keep in mind that the bathroom light was off and the door was open, because we're not seeing where Xana's light was on, but we're still hearing Dylan describe that she can see Xana so clearly that she can tell she doesn't have any pants on. She can tell her room is messy and there's clothes on the floor, but you can't see blood all over her bare legs. How could you see all those other minute details and also claim that you could see the top of her head, but that bathroom light is off and Xana's room light was apparently off too, and no Scentsy light is going to give you the visibility into that bedroom where you can see that her room was dirty and there was clothes on the floor. That's an issue. Everything when it comes to Xana is so not clarified. And this part right here, why haven't we seen that? Why haven't we seen that? Molly even says that she is trying to get her phone to take the picture and then it's all done through the app. So why do we not have that? When they did the DoorDash information and the self-authenticating records, and we finally saw for the first time that this was actually like an order made on Ethan's account, why didn't we also have the accompanying actual like order receipt that showed what was ordered? Why didn't we have the picture? Why didn't we have all the information that we as DoorDash users, and even some of you being drivers, knows is there? Why have we not gotten any of that yet? Now, the other one we've basically gone over a little bit when it comes to who called who, because one of the big misconceptions that came from the Goncalves talking to Drunk Turkey was that they were told that Hunter was called over to 1122 King Road because Dylan and Bethany were unable to get Xana's door open. And instead of going upstairs and getting Maddie and Kaylee, they called an outside source, i.e. Hunter Johnson, specifically and directly, to come over and manhandle the door to open it. He gets it open just enough to peek inside and get his head through, sees the bloodshed, sees what happens, freaks out, yells, "Get the F out and call 911." And the girls run out and one of them passes out on the ground and it's a whole thing. That's how we were told this played out for 3 years. 3 years. Poll is over. Yeah. Then we find out it's actually Emily. Emily is the one that was called by Dylan. Hunter was not called whatsoever. But yet Hunter tells the police officer that he was the one that was called. So it's interesting that he says that like twice. And then after the fact, he's like, well, she called my girlfriend. So who actually told the Goncalves that they were called directly? Was it Hunter? Because he's obviously capable of not telling an accurate tale. So I don't know if that was said to them at the memorial or where it was said, but the way that it came out was that story was told directly to them from Hunter Johnson himself. And it's the complete opposite. There was no door closed. It was doors wide the frick open. And you could see everything. You didn't have to fight it. And that led to a lot of discussions because we were questioning why the frick wouldn't they have gone upstairs to get the two strong, able-bodied women that were upstairs that could have helped them open the door? Why would they instantly go out and find an outside source, but then also claim that they had no idea what happened to Kaylee and Maddie? That caused all kinds of crazy shit. My God. That's one of the things that, just like lying about the private driver being a family member, Steve Goncalves needs to step up and take accountability for. But it'll probably never freaking happen. Whenever he was asked about it, I think it was on Daniel's show, right before the Dateline thing, he pushed the responsibility off and then was like, oh, I thought it was about a door being open, but it was really, no, I thought it was about a door being closed. It was really about a door being open, and it wasn't on the inside, it was on the outside. And everyone's like, what the freaking frack are you talking about, bro? Like, he's just trying to like word mumble a bunch of stuff to like go around it. I don't even really quite understand. Okay, so actually, before we go on to the next one, I want to read you the parts of the book that I said were going to be funny. And that's why I said, can we not sue this fool for being such a waste of time and killing all these trees and this big, huge carbon footprint that this piece of shit book actually put on the planet? Because it is absolutely inaccurate. Absolutely inaccurate. Every freaking thing about this damn book is inaccurate. And we are not done going over all of this yet. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a poll up, but I'm going to wait until I read this portion, because I think reading this portion to you is going to give you the actual sense for the ridiculousness of this book. And even though before I was just doing videos and just doing like the review, and then obviously it got stopped because actual factual things started dropping and there's still a shit ton of this to look at, I would be more than willing to start over and read this in sections live until we are completely done, just so that we can in real time debunk this thing. And maybe if we go through it again, because it's been quite a while now since the first time we did, maybe it'll reach the people it needs to reach in order for this piece of shit fiction to be taken off the shelf. James Patterson should be ashamed of his dumbass self for writing this trash. This absolute freaking trash. But I'm going to read this portion to you, and then I'm going to put the poll up, because once you see again just how dumbly ridiculous, you're going to understand why I think we probably should do this, because this is a story that probably sold millions of copies, and this dude got hella rich off of lies. And I'm so sick of these people. It's just so disgusting. Okay, so the first portion I'm going to read is page 70 and 71. And this is about Hunter and the knife. That's why I said we were going to go back for a minute. This is about Hunter and the knife. And remember, what were we told? What were we told? That this book is based off of everything that Amazon series was all about when it comes to Hunter being on camera and saying all the things. We were told that it was all based on the exact same shit, okay? So I'm going to read you the portion on page 70 to 71 that talks about Hunter going over there. And then there's 4 pages I'm going to read you after this, that when I read you that section, you're going to piss your pants laughing. Okay, are you ready? He takes in Ethan on the bed facing, behind her, facing towards the wall. Wait, hold on, let me go up a little bit more. Okay. Hunter makes his way up the steps into the house. He heads up the stairs and sees Xana's bedroom door slightly ajar. Unusual. He opens it. He sees her lying inert as if she's falling backward on the floor, face up. There is blood everywhere. He takes in Ethan on the bed behind her, facing towards the wall. Hunter's heart's about to explode. I read this portion the other day, but I'm going to read further. He doesn't go any further into the house. He turns around, goes downstairs, and says as calmly as he can to Dylan and Bethany, call 911 and stay outside. No. Call 911 and get outside was not said until Emily was already up the stairs. He did not go downstairs to say that. He's downstairs when the cop gets there, but that's not how the story actually went. He takes a breath, goes back up the stairs, and heads to the kitchen across the hall from Xana's room. He opens a drawer and takes out a kitchen knife. He's terrified. He's about to enter Xana's room when he hears someone coming up the stairs. It's Emily. He stops her. Emily, I don't think Xana's going to wake up. He tells his girlfriend as softly as he can. She doesn't understand, but something in his expression chills her, and she stands still, rooted to the spot. I'm going in to take their pulses, he says, knowing already that he's too late. But he goes in anyway, and after he's done, he checks the closets for any sign of the murderer. There is none. Emily has gone downstairs. He follows and waits for the cops in the living room. Hunter says nothing to Emily or to the others who are outside. He's trying to protect these innocents from both the sight and the reality, but he already knows the horrific truth. Xana and Ethan are dead. Hunter doesn't know if Kaylee or Maddie are even in the house, but he fears the worst. The devil has been at 1122 King Road, and he has no idea why. Now, this is backwards, because this is not how we've heard it said. We've heard that Dylan and Bethany were already with Hunter. Because both of them then state, I'm pretty sure Bethany even says it too in her interview. I might be a little bit off on Bethany's, but damn sure we know Dylan says in her interviews that she not only saw Xana when she was going down to Bethany's room, but that she saw her again that morning after they went upstairs with Hunter. That's what we were told from them in their interviews that we listened to. That's what we were told. So they would have already have been with Hunter before Emily and Josie and Lyndon would have been coming up the steps, before Emily would have got to the top of that step, meaning they were already upstairs with Hunter. So it's a bit strange that neither one of them saw him go into the kitchen and grab the knife because of the way that the story is being told by the people that were apparently there. Now, this next portion is the reason why this book needs to be burned and he should lose his ability to be able to be a writer. This is absolutely stupid. Okay? Stupid. This is now on page 43 and it's going to go on to page 44. It's 4 pages. Listen to this shit. Listen to what they say. Listen to what it says about the knife. Okay, y'all ready? Emily Allant is at her apartment in the building next door having breakfast with Hunter Johnson, Josie, and Lyndon when she answers Dylan's call. Can you come over? Dylan asks her big sister. I don't really know if I was dreaming or not, but I think there was a man here and I'm really scared. Can you come check out the house? Emily is amused. It's not the first time Dylan has said crazy stuff after she had a few drinks. Now remember, we heard that in the series too, that Dylan's a big cry wolf. That any little noise in the kitchen, she's calling somebody over to come check it out. But the one time you actually see some crazy shit, you hear some crazy shit, you don't do nothing. Yeah, we did a video about that too. Haha, should I bring my pepper spray? She teases. Emily takes the time to find a sweatshirt before trotting towards the King Roadhouse. But Hunter, driven perhaps by some sixth sense, is ahead of her. He enters the house and passes Dylan and Bethany, who are barefoot, hands over their mouths crying. They wait while he goes upstairs and heads to the passage that will take him to Xana's room. But that's not what we were told by Dylan and Bethany. The first sign that something is very wrong is that Xana's door is cracked open a few inches. I don't know if we actually know that part's true. Because there's no way that Dylan could have seen that Xana was on the floor and didn't have pants on or anything like that if the door was only open a little bit. That door would have had to have been open all the way, and that's how we've seen it all the way. So even now, it's being described as the door was not open all the way, but it was. It was actually open like all the way. Xana never sleeps with her door open. Hunter, why the frick would you even have a say on that if that's the case? Like, why would you even know that about her? That's weird. But Hunter soon sees that Xana isn't in bed asleep. She's lying on the floor as if she'd fallen backwards into the room. Ethan is motionless in the bed behind her. There are rivers of blood. Adrenaline takes over, as does a strong protective instinct. He goes back down to Dylan and Bethany. Call 911, he says, and stay outside. He says as calmly as he can. We know they didn't. They've already admitted they saw Xana that morning in the big old daylight and for some reason are still pretending like they didn't see blood all over her bare-ass naked legs. Make that shit make sense. He turns and heads back downstairs. Get ready. Get ready. He turns and heads back upstairs where he goes into the kitchen and gets a kitchen knife. Is the person who did this still there? He heads across the hall back to Xana's room. When he's at her doorway, he hears someone coming up the stairs. He turns around and sees Emily coming towards him. He stops her, putting a hand on her shoulders and talking as softly as he can. You cannot go in there. Emily doesn't understand. He tries again. Emily, I don't think Xana is going to wake up, he says firmly. And Emily stops moving. She stops speaking. She's rooted in shock. I'm going to check their pulses, he says. Eventually, she turns and heads back down the stairs. Not eventually. That makes it sound like she's stuck around for a while, and that's not apparently at all the case. He takes Xana's pulse, knowing that he won't feel a beat. He doesn't. And then Hunter goes over to the bed. This is another lie. We literally hear Hunter saying in the body cam he did not check Ethan yet. We literally hear him saying that. Then Hunter goes over to the bed to his best friend Ethan, lying there facing the wall peacefully but lifelessly. Again, there's no pulse. Remember, Ashley Banfeld was like, oh yeah, his best friend checked his pulse. And we were like, how the frick does that make any sense? And it still doesn't make any sense given where his injury was. But we hear Hunter say in the cam, he never checked on Ethan. We hear it. We hear it. There's more. There's more. Wait until what it says about the knife when the cop gets there. This is where I lost my shit reading this, especially reading back after watching the cameras and knowing the truth. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, hold on. Okay. He now walks around the room checking the closets. There's no one there. In a trance, he walks out of the bedroom, knife in hand, and stands in the living room. Meanwhile, the others are outside on the phone with the emergency responders. The operator is asking them to stop passing the phone around, but in their panic, that's all they can think to do. This is true. Dylan and Bethany are too upset to be intelligible, so Josie tries to give the address as clearly as she can, explaining that one of the roommates is unconscious. It was Jenna. Was it not Jenna, or was it Emily? Was it Emily? Which one was it? I don't believe it was Emily at first. I think it was Jenna at first because she takes it from Bethany. I'm pretty sure it was Jenna. Was it Josie? Was it? I don't remember it I don't know. I've always been back and forth with that because I could have sworn it was Jenna. I think she even says it in her interview. Doesn't Jenna say it in the interview that she's the one who took the phone? It's one of the J's. I could have sworn it was Jenna. But that's true. They're not unintelligible. Like Bethany's crying in the beginning, but then you can hear them completely. You can hear them completely. Oh, well, no, like documentation and stuff has said it was Jenna, I'm pretty sure. Was it Josie? I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and listen to her interviews. I could have sworn Jenna said that she took the phone. I could be wrong. There's so much freaking boo-boo going on in this damn case, but I could have sworn it was Jenna because she took it from Bethany. But yeah, I could be wrong. Okay. One of the roommates is passed out and she was drunk last night. She's not waking up. Oh, and they saw a man in their house that night. Dylan takes the phone back, which it was never with Dylan. It was with Bethany first, and tries to start in about what she saw at 4 a.m., but the operator cuts her off. That would have been the first time Dylan has the phone, not the second time. She wants to know what is happening right now. Is someone passed out right now? There's a pause as they call for Hunter inside the house, who hollers back to them. She's not waking up, Dylan tells the operator. Hunter comes out and takes the phone from Dylan. No. At this point, we've heard the operator tell them that basically they need to check, and we're hearing Dylan tell Bethany they have to go back inside the house to check. They have to. So Hunter doesn't come outside to talk to them. They go back inside. They go back inside. Is she breathing? The operator asks. No, Hunter says, with all the calm he can muster. Then he hands the phone back to Dylan and goes to wait inside. The operator tells Dylan that she's summoned help and to stay on the line. They have to use that word, right? She asks Dylan if she can find a defibrillator. And again, I have had to call 911 several times. I don't remember ever being asked if I had access to a defibrillator. That's usually something that like some certified person has. I guess there's like, I mean, I know there's like home ones, but when it comes to like a big one for real, that's just a strange question. Dylan asks the others. None of them know where a defibrillator is. None of them, other than Hunter, knows anything. But wordlessly, they are each screaming the same questions. Why is Xana not waking up? Where is Ethan? Why is Hunter Johnson telling them to stay outside? Where is Kaylee and Maddie? Huddled on the sidewalk, dressed in their nightwear, the friends have no idea where Kaylee and Maddie are inside the house. They do not know from their location sharing apps that the girls' phones are there. But they also know that that neither is answering. So here it gets into the part where the cop shows up and he's lying about what Hunter is doing with this knife. They are still on the phone with 911 operator when the first patrol car arrives. That's true. The man gets out. Patrol officer Mitch Nunes is 22, the same age as Hunter Johnson, which is so crazy that at 22 he like had to witness this crazy shit. Nunes joined the Moscow PD only a year ago. The kid looked at him, slightly stunned to see someone their age in an officer's uniform. Nunes is expecting a routine situation. He asks Hunter Johnson, who is standing just inside, still holding the kitchen knife, to come with him to show him the unconscious person he's ready to administer CPR. No, sir. No. But right from the get-go, something tells him this isn't the usual case of a student who just got over-imbibed. Hunter Johnson doesn't let go of the knife. He takes Nunes up to Xana's room. He shows Xana and Ethan Nunes takes their pulses. They're dead, clearly the victims of a brutal unaliving. Nunes can see that in addition to other wounds, Xana's fingers are almost severed. Let me see what else it says about the knife. Does it say anything else? I'm trying to see if he meant, okay. He calls for backup. He takes Hunter down to the living room, which isn't true. There is no down to the living room. It's on the same floor. Then he makes his way up to the top of the house, the body cam recording every second of his movements and the horrific visual of what he sees. That's not technically true either. He goes back downstairs. Warner ends up taking Hunter back downstairs, and then they go up to the 3rd floor together. Upstairs on the top floor, Nunes finds a dog, a golden doodle, in the room to the left. He enters the room to the right, Maddie's room, and sees 2 young women. Anything else about Hunter? No. So he sits there and says that Hunter has got the knife in his hand when the cop pulls up, and Hunter will not let go of the knife. He's just not letting go of the knife. Like, why? That's wild. Who told you that story? Did Hunter tell you that story in one of his interviews that he did with you? Because that's not true. You never, ever once see that knife in Hunter's hand. Never once. Okay. So, let me end this. I can't believe that, like, and I know that it's not supposed to be truth, right? With what this person like writes about. But when he says, based on hundreds of exclusive interviews, the definitive account of the murders of 4 unforgettable college students. Definitive. Look up the definition of the word definitive, okay? Then for him to start the book by claiming, this book reads like fiction, but none of it is made up. Every detail in these pages has been meticulously sourced through interviews or has been factually documented. James Patterson, you old liar. You grumpy old liar. Okay? No. False advertisement. There it is. Tort case right now. We need a lawyer right now. Let's sue James Patterson for false advertisement. Can't we do that? Can't we use that? I mean, why not? I would love to prove a freaking point. And I would really love people to go through the rest of his damn books. How much of it is false advertisement? You know, he didn't even change the damn cover. It literally says, now indicted and facing trial on the freaking front cover. He didn't even bother to he didn't even bother to update the cover. Like, I get it. You can't reprint the book. It's how many pages of lies. And you know what really makes me mad is that I know damn well that Plunder knows that this book is full of shit, and she puts an Amazon affiliate link in her description box so that people will buy it and she'll get a commission off of it. I would never, ever put a link anywhere to get money from anything like this. I bought it so that y'all didn't. Like, quite literally. How many pages of lies is this shit? 429 pages of false advertising. And then the back of the book says, James Patterson is the most popular storyteller of our time. The most popular liar of our time? I'm suing you, James Patterson, for false advertisement. I think that'll probably do something. That's a law. That's wild. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I haven't even finished it yet. Like, it doesn't even belong to me anymore. Crazy, where you at? Crazy was the winner of the damn thing, and I haven't even finished reading it. Let me show you where I stopped. That's why I kind of want to do a live, which I'm going to do that poll here in a second. I want to go live and just read this piece of crap and debunk it in real time. Because it's really, it took me forever to get the videos done I did do because I was having to go in and fact checked everything, but I'd rather just fact check in real time. Come on, damn. Where did I stop reading? Yeah, I stopped reading on 94. So I still have all of that left. Didn't even finish it. We had other stuff come out. Oh, thank you for the gifted membership, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Thank you. Congratulations to whoever got that one. Yeah. It can't sell as nonfiction when it says it's a definitive account. And that it's coming from faculously, meticulously, whatever the blah, 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 blah bullshit. Yeah. I think we're probably going to, honestly. I'm going to put a poll and just see what people say about it. Should we read this live of a book live? Should we read this lie of a book live? Yes or no? We'll let that run for a few minutes. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Where's my thingy? Clock. 5 minutes. All right. And again, if you have that book already and you want to read yourself the pages that I just read, the first portion was 70 and 71. And then the longer part where it's like Hunter has the knife in his hand and he won't let go of the knife is page 134 to 138. Okay. So, and I'm pretty sure that some of you guys were talking who published his book. Who is the publisher here? Let me see. Hatchet Book Group. And it says I only have to ask permission if it's for other than review purposes. Oh, it's a review, baby. It's a review. Little Brown and Company, Hatchet Book Group, 1290. Of course, 921 is in the damn address. 1290 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York. Littlebrown.com. Yeah. Littlebrown.com is like, I guess, like where you could contact them if you really wanted to, which I really should be like, how could you possibly be okay with printing out this garbage? This absolute freaking garbage. Okay, let's see. I know that a lot of you in the comments, and I think a couple of you in the chat also mentioned, I know we've talked about it before, but I have no problem going back over it again. We're going to do that here in just a second. But it was how it sounds like the situation about telling people to get out and call 911 that led to the 911 call is also playing out while we are hearing the 911 call take place. That's really weird. That's not really a Mandela effect. That's not really anything I think that we need to do a poll on, because that's the majority of everyone. You can hear it. And it makes no sense to anyone at all, because why would you say like that the whole get out situation happened in order for the call to happen, but then we hear more get out, like on the call itself? I don't know. Now it's possible, and we've mentioned this already, it's possible that it did happen in like two separate sections, but the fact that they're still not clarifying exactly what happened here is a huge issue. Like, it really is a huge, huge, huge problem. Okay, let me go and get the 911 call real quick, because we're going to re-listen to the full call, or at least the one that I have on the page. Okay. I still find this kind of strange, but I wish that they could clarify exactly what it was that happened, because when they're telling us a story, and they've been telling us a story for so long, we're expecting that what we see from them afterwards to actually match that situation. What is going on here? Oh, there it is. It's just I'm tiny and I got to fix it. So I know that this was a big controversy in the beginning, because we did hear it and it was confusing. Right. They like reenacted it like, well, yeah, that's why it's so freaking weird. That too. Like she takes off across the street, or she was already across the street when the cop pulled up. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. It's playing. I'm going to let it play all the way through.
I was given permission to play a little bit of that. The reader thing will.
This is where I was just comparing like what he was saying before it actually played. I'm pretty positive. Yeah. Okay. Here it goes.
(11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022).
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the light, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
No, you're right. That's true. I forgot about that. Okay, so it is Josie. That's good for my brain to start remembering that Jenna pulled in behind the cop. Okay, that clarifies everything right there. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder.
The address, 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? What's your phone number? And tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah.
Didn't I do that? Did I do that in a video here recently? I feel like I did that in a video here recently. Where I took I think for the live. I think for the live that I did for like the 3-year mark, that's how I opened it. Because I opened it with the 911 call, and I'm pretty sure I synced it to whenever that happened. I'm pretty positive. I'm pretty sure I did that. Let me look. I'll let this play, and then I'll pull that up in a second, I guess. Or actually, I guess I could just play the whole thing because that's exactly what we're looking at. Hold on. 11, 13. If mine starts out with the 911 call, then I know that that's how I did it. Hold on. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Oh, no, I did. Oh, look at that. How far does it play? Hold on. Oh, look at that. I'm a genius. Holy shit. Okay. Make this bigger. This is exactly what this is. So we'll just play this from the beginning. Of not whenever the chick is doing all that stuff. Hold on.
Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. What is the rest of the address? Oh, King Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the light, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address, 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? What's your phone number? And tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check.
Yeah, coming back inside.
But we have to. Is it hospital? She's not waking up.
See, you can hear him calling Xana's name.
I'm getting help started that way.
See, like you can hear him calling Xana's name. But they've already done this. Like they've already checked on her. That's the whole reason for the call. It's really confusing.
Okay, thank you.
Right, they're upstairs. They're in the house. I'm good. Get out, get out, get out. And at this point, they have not seen Maddie and Kaylee. At this point, he's already apparently told them to get out and call the cops because Xana is not breathing and she's not waking up. And oh my God. This is so ass backwards, bro. Well, no, I mean, and honestly, not just that. Okay, let's be fair. Not just that. If he's checking on her again because the cops are saying to her whatever, fine. But why react the exact same way? Why call her name over and over again like you hadn't already done this? And why be like, oh my God, get out, get out, get out? When that's the whole reason why the call's being made. It's that portion of it that is so odd.
Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You talk to them, say. I can't talk to them. They need you to talk to them.
Hello? Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again? There's a police here right now. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have it. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay.
I don't remember how long I let it play.
I'm 13. Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here now.
1370. Okay, stay back there, please. Fuck. There's Slow down. Just come here. There's two. Looks like fatalities.
Okay, that's where I ended it. So yeah, I put them together. I could have sworn that I did. But yeah, it's just really strange that we hear him calling Xana's name when that's already been done. That he's get out, when that's the whole reason why everyone was outside and calling 911 to begin with. That's why they're on the phone. It's just so strange. It's just so freaking weird. Not just that, but he apparently goes in and touches her where she's got stab wounds and blood all over the place. And that's another thing. Like, did he actually check her pulse? Because you'd think that if he actually touched her, then he would have something on his hands. And I know I couldn't find it, but when we go back over the entirety of Warner's body cam, because the way that Connor had to upload it, it's like 3 hours. And so I tried to condense all that down as much as possible. I also went in and in parts where there's like nothing happening and there's no one walking around and no one's talking. It's like hella fast forwarded and then it stops when something's actually going on. So we still have to go through that, but he looks at his hands. Like he checks his hands and there's nothing on his hands. And to me, if you checked her pulse and she had so many stab wounds from the top of her head to the top of her head to the back of her right calf, why would your hand not have blood on it? How could you have checked? I did this video. I am editing it right now, so stand by. But how could you have checked her pulse with her having that many injuries and not have anything on your hands? I just don't believe that. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, not just that, but I mean, there would be so many signs. Because he even admits he never checked on him. He says it to the officer that he never checked on Ethan. And I could have sworn, and this is why I want to go back and watch the Amazon Prime series. I could have sworn he said in the damn interview that he didn't even notice Ethan was there when he was in there and checked Xana when he first saw it. I could have sworn that's what he said, that he didn't even remember, like he didn't even see that Ethan was in the room. That's another reason why when the book explains it that way, we already hear him tell the police officer that he hasn't even checked on him yet. I'm just like, damn, you're just going to sit here and lie and make all this money off your lies. Like, that's crazy, bro. Okay, so there's the 911 call deja vu thing. Okay, so here's one that's just incorrect information that for some reason is in the PCA and we were lied to about. This is going to be Kohberger wearing gloves inside of the Albertsons, which we know is not true now that the footage has come out. Let me pull it up because I did not have time to pull this up just yet. Kohberger, I think there's like several channels that have it. Actually, I think Connor has it. Let me go back to Connor's page. And if y'all don't know this page, which y'all should by now, because every single time we watch something from here, I tell you who it's from. This is where the majority of this stuff is coming from. Does he have Kohberger on camera? He does not have Kohberger on camera. Okay. Kohberger Albertsons camera. I'm pretty sure, I think Outcast has it. I want to look at like a source that I know isn't going to be all cracked out. Doesn't Outcast have it? Let me look. No, maybe he doesn't. Okay. Kohberger Albertsons. I mean, honestly, we'll just open like any one of them because the truth is that they lied to us about him wearing gloves. So I feel like we should just be able to like open any of these that are going to play it, honestly. No, be quiet, Nate. Just show me the video, broski. Okay. That's Costco. Here we go. And remember, it wasn't until we actually finally saw this footage that we realized just whose photo was a lie. So let's remember that too. Let me pull up the PCA. I'm sure it's the PCA that says he was, wasn't it the PCA that said he was wearing gloves? Let me know in the chat if y'all remember that. I'm pretty sure that it is the PCA that said he was wearing gloves at the Albertsons. The word gloves isn't populating in the entire PCA. Are you so freaking for real? Okay, show me Albertsons. That's all Brightsville. Here we go. Kohberger. That's I'm trying to figure out where it was at. I try well, if it was no. Let me show you. Because where did it come from? I could have sworn that it was the PCA. But this isn't populating anything. I typed in glove. When you hear it, like, can y'all hear the little like, like when it does that, it means that there's no results. No results. And when it comes to Albertsons, it just says that he was in Albertsons. Walks to the store, purchases unknown items at the checkout, leaves at approximately 1:04 p.m. It doesn't say anything about the gloves. Right, he's not wearing gloves. But where was that original statement from? Do we know? Because it's not the PCA. I thought it was the PCA, but it's not the PCA. Okay, good. Thank you. JLR has always been a liar. But I could have sworn that it was like a different source. Maybe it was Banfield. Yeah, because the word glove isn't even in this damn document, like at all. It's not finding the word glove in the whole thing. So that must have just been one of those social media, mainstream media rumors. Let me play it. So that you guys can see that he's not. But I can't see, I'm going to have to look for it because I know damn well that we were told this forever. And we were like, okay, that's crazy, but also not a big deal because it was right after like the pandemic. So people like still wearing gloves at the store was pretty normal. I mean, honestly, this freaking doesn't matter because I'm not even going to play this. So here's it is an Albertsons. I don't know why they didn't show him walking in right here. Why did they not show him walking in? East Idaho News. But yeah, he definitely doesn't have anything on his hands. Yeah, see, we still have to compare the car. I want WSU footage from that morning when the car's like leaving, because we know that he leaves that morning to like drive out there and later on in the afternoon. But I want the WSU footage of that car, of his actual car leaving. That's what I want. That's what I want. I mean, it had to have been. Like, I know that we had the gloves, like, at the house whenever he was separating trash. Like, yeah. But we also heard that he was wearing gloves inside Albertsons. Let me see if I can Google it and see if it gives me a source. Because at least it'll tell me maybe where the inaccurate information came from. Wearing gloves at Albertsons. How How interesting. Now I'm going to be like on the hunt for where that came from. You know what? It probably was. That dude is such a freaking scoundrel. All right, let me put this up here because I want to see how many of you guys remember this. So we got to do the poll. Let's see, how should we word this one? Do you remember the statement? No, hold on. Kohberger wore gloves at Albertsons. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, for real. Like, he even, like, has sued his own self. Like, how freaking weird do you gotta be, bro? How freaking, like, actually weird do you gotta be? Do you gotta be? For realios. And thank you for the $1.99. But for real. Okay. Yeah, that's been, like, something forever that, again, like, we didn't have any proof of. I just don't remember exactly, like, where it came from. That's wild. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's one. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Let this poll go for a second so I can go handle this real quick. Come on, prison yard yapper. Yeah. Yeah, he's wild. He's absolutely out of his freaking mind. Like, actually. See, yeah, I don't know where the frick we heard it from. It had to be mainstream. Like, it actually had to be mainstream. Probably. Exactly, that too. That too. Okay, let's see. Okay, this next one, I think we've talked, well, I don't know. We have talked about this before. This has only been up for like 2 minutes, but I'm pretty much like sure of everyone's answers already. Okay, I'll change the poll here in just a second. But Murphy. We still need to do all of Murphy's timeline because there's so much going on and a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the documentation, what the documentation says, and what we were actually told. I remember in the very, 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 very beginning, us being told that Murphy was like not there and that he showed up like after the cops were already there, like from out of nowhere. That's how I remember being told about Murphy. Now, obviously, in the body cam, we see Murphy in Kaylee's room. But then Dylan makes really weird statements in her interview about she doesn't even know why the cops were able to like find Murphy because she thought that he ran off. But that doesn't make any sense to me because we know for a fact Dylan was awake the whole freaking night. So there's no way that she didn't know the dog was back in the house by being awake all night and the dog coming back inside, not only coming back inside if the door was left open for him to come back inside through, but also went upstairs and got into Kaylee's room. If it was the back slider that the dog came in and out of, if that's the case, because we don't know, do we? We don't actually know if the dog was outside on Kaylee's balcony, running back and forth on the balcony, or if the dog was actually outside. What I would really like is the truck that pulls in at 426 that sort of like hovers back and forth. Again, to me, in my opinion, and the fact that Dylan says that she sees some sort of like brake lights but no headlights like of this vehicle at this exact same time frame, it's in my opinion with the way that Murphy sounds like he is outside and like the vehicle's trying to drive past him without hitting him. So they're going really slow. And whenever he's out the way, they're sort of like pressing the gas a little bit. And then they're still like trying to just like ease past. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know if we ever spoke to that person. I don't know if we ever heard from that person. I know that when it comes to the big truck, there's a report. And it's a girl, I think. Actually, I can't even say that I actually know which gender the person is. But they say something about coming home from their shift to feed their cat and only being there for like a few minutes. And the issue that I have with that is that the Linda Lane cameras show this truck leaving and like being there for like a super long time and leaving. And it doesn't match the 426 timing of it coming into 1112. And yeah, could there be multiple big trucks? Maybe. But it's the same shape. It's the same shade in the black and white camera. And it's got the exact same frequency to its base. So something's wrong somewhere because it seems like Linda Lane is off, which is something else that we need to discuss. I guess the next step when it comes to FOIAs after doing the 1112 is to try to get Linda Lane straight from the police. I just don't know what time frame to ask for. I guess we need to ask for like what? Midnight to 5 of Linda Lane from the police and Taylor Avenue technically. How much is that going to freaking cost? They're really getting on my nerves too, because remember last week they said when I called them on Tuesday before Thanksgiving that they were looking at it right now and then it might be that day. And if not, then for sure Wednesday. But then if not, it would be next week because they were closed for Thanksgiving. And now in the update, they're basically telling me the exact same shit. That it's either going to be tomorrow or the next day and we're working on it right now. Well, they still haven't gotten to me. And they gave me the same story this week that they gave me last week. So that's really stupid and annoying. It's really stupid and annoying. Yeah, I think we're going to have to. It's just going to cost like a shit ton of money. Unless it's already out there and it only is the duplication fee. That's how we'll know. If we only pay $30 for Linda Lane, it's just the duplication fee. If it ends up being hundreds, or in 1112's case, $1,500, I don't know if we're going to do all that. We'll see. I'm so tired. And I mean, I know that like everyone wants to see it. And I know that y'all are funding all of this stuff. But eventually I'm just going to stop even like taking anything. Because I'm really sick and tired of giving my money or y'all's money to these people. The prices that they're charging for this shit doesn't make any sense. They're trying to do the most they can to get the most out of everything. And it's not right. We just spent $200 on 2 email threads and 3 pictures. That's a lot of money for nothing. Those were the smallest files I have ever gotten in a FOIA. Like, I'm sorry. And then at the end of the day, it ended up costing us more money than the original letter said it was going to cost. And we got nothing in way of information. Absolutely freaking nothing. 9 screenshots that were just altogether 2 different emails. That's it. They should be ashamed. Yeah, exactly. And I just don't know like what all of that's going to look like when it comes to sounds and cars driving by. But there's so many things that I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting to hear. Like we should be able to hear whenever Dylan and Bethany come home. Even if we don't see it on camera, because of where the camera is positioned, we should hear all of it. We should hear all the comings and goings. from midnight to 12:05. We should hear all of it. Hopefully we see something, but we should definitely hear all of it. And you have to also remember that's also the only entrance and exit when it comes to Jack Ducour getting in and out of that area too. So there's a lot right there. It's a busy little spot. 12 hours of information. I mean, yeah, $1,500 for 12 hours, cool. But whenever an hour of it's already out there, the other 2 hours we already paid the deposit for, and then I had to talk to you and ask you 1,000 questions before you found the rest of it in some subfolder because you were just going to let it stay lost. And then remember, the freaking MPD FOIA officer doesn't even know the suspect's name. I got to get that call put out there soon too. Let's see. Actually, I think that's probably all I want to talk about tonight. We could probably find a couple of different things. Like, I know that we need to talk about, like, the fact they all lied about them being asleep, and obviously none of them were asleep. And honestly, I guess that's what we'll close it off with, but it's not really anything that's like a Mandela. It's just like, why the lie? Like, I could understand maybe them not wanting the suspect to know that, like, Dylan saw them, right? But to sit there and say that the people that died were asleep at the time that the crime happened, that's not true. That's not true. And the killer would have known that. The killer would have been like, the cops are lying. That's not true. There was singing and there was music. And when I went in, all this motion was happening and this other girl was walking around. And like all of this would have been known to the perpetrator, that what the cops were saying wasn't true. So I just don't understand the tactic. I just don't understand the tactic, I guess, is my point. I just don't. Okay, let me check the summary page and see if there's anything. It has not updated since the 26th. So that's it then. Yeah, there was a lot of things that are just not accurate. And it really is just insane to me that we have this police department claiming to have done all of these great things to have solved this case, and in reality the FBI did absolutely everything, and they handed over everything to Moscow, and Moscow didn't actually do anything. They just did whatever the feds told them to do. And obviously they don't double check their own work. So what makes me think they're going to double check people that have a higher rank than them? All of it was just so gross. Gross and stupid, and I hate this case so much. Hopefully we get some documents here soon. No, she never even says that she was in shock. She always says that she could have, maybe she used the word once. I don't personally recall her using the word shock, but I know that she says how scared she was constantly, but then also says, but there was nothing to be afraid of, but I didn't think anything of it. Well, I'm pissing my pants and telling Bethany that I'm freaking out. I didn't think anything of it. Well, I think nothing's wrong. I'm too scared to go down the hallway to actually check on Xana. Like, how are you going to be this dumb? How are you going to be this dumb? Because they never gave it to us. It was discussed. Well, Lena said that she wants to, but I don't know if that's going to happen or what the stipulations for that are or how that's going to go or what she's going to do and if she's going to try to get other people in on it or what's going on. Ew. Nancy Disgrace. That's not surprising. It's not surprising. This whole case is so stupid. Dumb. Dumb. All right, you guys. 3 hours. We went through a lot. Holy crap. We went through a shit ton of information. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for so long tonight. I'm hoping tomorrow we have 11-12. If not, for what? Like a letter of intent? Has he paid for any FOIA information? Like, I know who that channel is. I just don't know what he's done. So I don't know. It actually kind of did. It was fun. Yeah, we went through a lot. We went through a lot more than I planned. But for what? Has he paid for FOIA information? Because what's he going to sue him for? Like, has he done FOIA stuff? Because if he has, I'd like to go see it. I'd like to go see the information that he was able to get. So, I mean, Lana definitely has the backing, you know, with the fact that she's paid for stuff the way that I have, the way that Plunder has, the way that Docket has. But if Devil's Advocate's never paid for any FOIA stuff, I don't see how he can sue them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not probably going to go check it, but since you seem to watch that channel, has he ever said anything else about the person that was apparently a waitress at a restaurant whenever he was down there for trial that was like the cousin of the guy that Kaylee was dating? Oh, I did a video about that. I feel like they were just putting in the blanks. Well, he can only say that if he's actually gotten Linda Lane footage from the police. Because right now, the only Linda Lane footage that we have came out from a deceptive source. So he can only sue them if he has the actual footage to prove that whatever they released is false. I don't know who Lee is. You talking about the lady with the blonde hair? Lawyer Lee, I think is her name. Yeah, she does that. That makes sense. But if he, well, see, that's the thing. I don't know. But if he didn't FOIA the Linda Lane footage and then compare it to like something original, like he really can't do that. Like he'd have to have proof of that. But I was waiting on 1112. Yeah, that's the problem. He hangs out with Birdie, so take that with you as you go to that channel, that this guy hangs out with Birdie, and we know a lot of the stuff that happens there. Okay, I don't know people by their first names. So Devil's Advocate. I just know because I saw him mention the waitress thing one time. Of course he didn't. Oh, that's his story anyway. See, when you come out and you say stuff like that, you don't have like any proof of it. I feel like you're just talking. I feel like you're just talking to talk. I don't feel like I can trust you. Yeah, like that's where I've seen him. I mean, he's got to have proof. He can't just say something. You know what I mean? So if he's FOIA'd Linda Lane, he still can't actually sue MPD for anything because, again, the original source that we have was a deceptive person who leaked it, and none of the stuff was ever really like the truth for anything. I mean, and that's all that matters is the facts. Like that, and it's not because it's not our stuff. Like it's not our information. There's nothing to hold an ego about. There's nothing to hold shame about. None of it, because it's not our facts. You know what I mean? Like there's really no reason for there to be deception. I guess, yeah. I don't know. He can't say that he can't say he's going to sue Moscow for Linda Lane whenever he doesn't have the Linda Lane from Moscow. Because if he did, we would have heard about it by now. It would have been out there. And again, it was a leak situation. There's video upon video. Because remember, whoever was responsible tried to blame it on Sleuthy Goosey of all freaking people. She's got like the freaking morals of all morals, okay? They tried to blame it on Sleuthy Goosey. There's like 5 videos about this crazy stuff. So I don't know. But people that are actually filing FOIAs and are actually paying these outrageous prices, yeah, there should be something because that's wild. Yeah, I answer questions for people all the time that are trying to file FOIAs for their own personal stuff. You can go ahead and hit me up. Connor has a Linda Lane. See, I did see that it was on there. Okay, so then if we do go, that is true. So if we do go and do file for Linda Lane, then all they would charge is a duplication fee because Connor already has it. So, but see, so is he saying that Connor's Linda Lane footage? What's he saying? You don't think it was? Well, if somebody can send me the title of the video so that I can look at it myself, I don't want to go and look at a bunch of redundant things. So if he, like, if you could send me the title of the video where he's talking about it so I can see exactly what he's talking about. I would just like to know, like, right, but he doesn't know that. He can't say that. Because if Connor has Linda Lane and it looks like that from MPD, he can't say that MPD is the one that manipulated it when the original source that we saw came from a deceptive leaker who was trying to push the blame on a million other people. You know what I mean? Is that making sense? Like, he can't compare what we have from the police to what's been out there for so long because that source was boo-boo. Does that make sense? Yeah, but that's, yeah, I'm sticking to what I said. I think it has been altered. I personally do believe that Linda Lane that we originally had was not accurate. I don't know about the one that Connor has. I don't know. But I've been saying for a long time, and the videos are still up there, that there's something wrong with Linda Lane. The audio doesn't sound right. In Linda Lane. They should have. No. The videos of Linda Lane that mainstream has been playing for this whole time all came from the leak. Because Linda Lane didn't come out until a month or so ago. He can't, I don't know if you can prove that since the original source was a leak that had no backing. And take that, please, with a grain of salt. And I'll say this now, Birdie's little sidekick, Phoenix, is going around telling people that underneath the table where the red cups is, it's blurred and there's a body. So if you think that that kind of person is doing this case any justice, and that the people that associate themselves with people that do that kind of shit are doing this case any justice, you should already know my opinion on that. There isn't. I complained about both things. I did. I sure did. And so did Kara, because somebody sent Kara that damn video whenever he did that. And that was when she told me that she can't stand seeing that stuff because, yeah, her daughter's actually dead and Birdie had no right doing that. That's how I was introduced to Birdie, was him trying to say that these people weren't dead and like showing false documents on his page. I mean, that's fine. They're both not level. Because the redactions are legal. We can't do anything about the redactions. The law says that they have the right to do that. Yeah, there's people coming from her channel posting it like under my comments by like, I think I had like 4 different people say, Phoenix is showing where there's a blur under the table and it proves that it's a body and it's got dark hair and it must be Xana. And I'm just like, please stop doing this to yourself. Like, actually stop doing this to yourself. Yeah, a lot of people, a couple different people have. Because that's who she is. Because that's the person she is. Okay, but we were just, y'all just said that he said that Linda Lane was the one that he said was manipulated. We already know there's something wrong with 1112. Okay, here's the email real quick. We already know that something's wrong with 1112 because when they gave me the pieces for the 30 to from the 330 to the 430 and I put the 5-minute increments together, they speed up right there. But I don't know. Yeah, that was wild. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And people that continue to follow those channels, look, I'm not going to tell people what to do. And honestly, like, I'm really sick and tired of being like the warning on the bleach bottle. Like, it's just so pathetic. When you see somebody being ignorant like that and you continue to follow them, what does that say about your intentions? Are you here for entertainment or are you here for truth? Because if you're going to continue to follow those kinds of people, you're here for entertainment. You don't care about the truth. And that's just the fact. If you know that they're going to come out with something so heinously, stupidly ridiculous that has no backing whatsoever, and you continue to go over there knowing that they're going to manipulate everything and not be honest, what are you here for? It's a real question. And that's not aimed at anything. I mean, at anything specific. It's a generalized question for what those kinds of people's intentions are for being here when they would rather be on those kinds of channels that lie and manipulate and tell falsehoods for attention when this is already drastically traumatic enough. We don't need to create bodies under a freaking table when there's already 4 bodies that we're trying to find answers for. That was asinine. Asinine. That's what pissed me off, because he's sitting there acting like he looked up all this stuff. So you just like blindly looked over her confessing it herself. You blindly went over the person that helped the entire orchestrated narrative also confess that it was fake. You just skipped over all that information. No, sir, you selectively did not show your audience all the truth the same way that Chris McDonough does on the Interview Room. I can't. That's true too. But yeah, we'll go back over Linda Lane. I have no issue taking the Linda Lane that's on like Connor's footage that we know, because he's gotten like all these FOIAs. At this point, I have no reason to question Connor's posts. I don't. He showed up out of nowhere, not monetized, posting stuff like crazy. I'm really still curious if this Connor is a Connor that has been mentioned in the police reports, because there is a Connor that was mentioned before, and I just don't know if he's the same person or not. It'd be interesting because it's like a local that's getting information that probably has some internal knowledge, but I don't know. But yeah, I have no issue taking the Linda Lane from the channels that put it out when it was first leaked, the unadulterated ones where they just took what they were sent and put it out there, and comparing it to what we have now of Linda Lane. I have no issue doing that. Oh, I have the link in the thing. Today's video. Okay. Let me give y'all this link real quick. My kids are playing a game together, and since I don't let my 7-year-old have a headset, they have to yell at each other down the hallway. There's Connor's link right there. It does. It does look like it's sped the hell up. It does. It does. But yeah. Okay. I guess that's it. We'll go look over the Linda Lane stuff, like I said. But I've already felt like that's what we already had was shady as shit. But you also, again, you can't, and again, I'm going to watch the video and see what he's talking about, but just for the conversation's sake, you cannot say that Linda Lane is manipulated if you're only basing it off of the leaked footage that we had, because we have no freaking clue what was done to that before it was released. We don't know if anybody did anything to it when they got it, when they gave it to all these other people that ended up having it before it was ever posted. This stuff went everywhere. It was a huge, big thing. Like, go to my channel and just go to the little search bar and type in Linda Lane. There's so much drama from when that leaked. All these different creators, fingers being pointed. Oh my God. It was some wild days. I'm thinking maybe, possibly. I'm not sure. They're a very quiet person. I have no idea. But very possible. Very, 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 very possible. Okay. I'm going to get off of here now. Again, thank you for being here for so long. It's been over 3 hours now. We did go through a lot, though. I'll end up clipping some of this stuff because it's specifics and it needs to be clipped and put out separately. So we'll do that. But again, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. We'll do something tomorrow. I'm just not quite sure what just yet. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you again so much, Charmfree, for the $49.99 super sticker. Thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you for the $1.99. 9 months. That's a long time. It's a long time. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go ahead and roll this out. Y'all have a great, great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me roll this out real quick. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.